Ahoy, landlubbers! It's me, your Captain Vasco speaking. I just finished diluting the chat with the stories of how woe is me and miserable my life is. The short version is it's raining again. It shouldn't be raining. It's Friday, March the 10th, 2023. And as I just specified to chat, the recent forecasts as of less than a week ago were indicating that it would not rain for the entirety of March, and it's already raining, and we're like a week in, so, that's happening. Your kids are learning about weather and rain via California weather patterns. That's pretty weird. But it's just a pretty weird time for the weather and California and everything in general. Hi Nico, welcome to the stream. Uh yeah, let's start with the ground rules. It's listen. I need you all to understand that I'm just gonna say words at certain points in the stream, and you may catch yourself going like, that word doesn't. That usage of that word isn't correct, or the thing Vasco said doesn't make any sense. We're just gonna keep going. We're not gonna fixate on. You can have fun enjoying that it doesn't make sense, but we're not going to stop and try and make sense of it. We can't do it. We don't have the energy. We need to use what momentum we have to get through the rest of this week, okay? We're just doing that. It being March the 10th, it is Sarah Roxakwa's birthday eve. Earlier in the week at Discord, she kindly asked if we could play Hobbs Barrow on Friday so she could be here because she has birthday plans on her birthday, which is tomorrow. I posed a poll to the folks on Discord and determined that, so, I posed like, leave the schedule as is, invert the schedule, or do only Hobbs Barrow for the weekend. And that was mostly a joke, but also I was like, I'd play Hobbs Barrow twice. And somehow that won the poll, so we're doing that. So we're gonna play more Excavation of Hobbs Barrow. Yeah. So I guess that means we gotta catch up and do a recap on Hobbs Barrow, which would have been good to think about before now. So what do we accomplish in precisely the last stream? We had left off. Somehow, the first thing that comes to mind is that we left off at the end of the stream we just finished, in another flashback where we were going to talk about some pots, and then we were supposed to go east. Pretty sure that's what the save file was called. Um, so, I just don't remember where we started. There was some logical starting point. I mean, we spent a lot of time trying to milk a goat. Well, actually, we spent very little time trying to milk a goat because the goat was extremely cursed and purple. And so we then instead spent a great deal of time trying to get someone else to milk the goat. And in order to do that, we had to gather some herbs, which, that took us a while. And it meant finding a new rotten apple home for our friend Kenneth the Third. And oh yeah, we managed to retrieve the knife that got stuck in the table at the very beginning of day 2, whose name I don't remember. It's something like Excapus, and that's not it. It's something like that though. We just don't remember what we were doing at the very start of the stream. I think we weren't doing. No, we were looking. There was something we were trying to do. We didn't kill off. So the game calls it Kenneth the Second, but I call it Kenneth the Third because Kenneth the First was our assistant who ghosted us and didn't come with the equipment and didn't send us money. So yeah, Kenneth the First is a human, and then Kenneth the Second and the Third are worms. Kenneth the Second died under day transition circumstances that we didn't have a whole rotten apple in our pocket, so we just died. I honestly don't know if a worm would die that quickly. It seemed a little weird, but I'm not an expert. And then Kenneth the Third, we put him in a rotten apple, and then used that as an opportunity to switch some bad cow killing poison herbs with whatever we needed to make a joint tincture. So we did that. We made a tincture with the help of the lovely local witch lady, who also told us that our father was one of the folks who helped to excavate Hobbs Barrow at precisely the time he had a horrific accident that left him in like essentially a coma state for the entire rest of his life. And so we went around the whole town telling everyone how exciting it was that our dad fell into a coma in the town because, like, I don't know, we just like Thomasina Bateman like doesn't have a lot of chill. She's very strange. Um, and we did all that. We eventually got ourselves a bucket of goat's milk. We took the goat's milk along with like a handmade back to the fancy manor out in the moors. We were supposed to get shot on sight. We didn't, but we had to deal with like a cranky like head maid. I don't know what her deal is. I think her name was like Lady Fenworth or something. And then we confirmed my theory that the handsome man who wants to paint us is in fact very wealthy, and he's like, you know what? I'll get you everything you need to excavate Hobbs Barrow in exchange for some cakes. And we were like, sir, how dare? And he's like, no, like literally cakes. I want you to go coerce the old woman who basically lives inside of the church to get me some cakes. And we were like, oh, okay. And so we learned that the thing that'll make her happy is getting a special flower as a marker for her husband's grave. He recently passed away. And in investigating the manor, we found that the fancy flower is there, but we can't get it because they belong to the angry Lady Fenworth or whatever. And I maintain this is about to be the worst thing we've done so far, is to steal one of her flowers, because she's like an angry lady who's like trapped in the moors, living like kind of a grumpy life, and we're about to steal literally one half of her happiness in order to get some cakes. Now, on the one hand, that almost seems like a fair trade, but she's not getting any of the cakes, you know? So, like, it's a problem. But in order to try and get that flower that we need, we also determined we would once again need the help of, like, the lesser handmaid. And she's, like, distraught because her love interest, whose name, I forget his name, is, like, Neil Ambrose or something. And apparently they were supposed to like elope or something like today, and like he's nowhere to be seen, and he's like the guy who milks cows, so like the fact that we had to find alternate milk indicates that like something's probably wrong with him, and we don't even know where to start looking. We literally asked her like, hey, this guy's the love of your life, could you like describe him so that we could find him? And she's like, he's got dark hair, and then like sent us on our way. So it's like more or less where we are. We do have to resolve a flashback, and I'm going to stop talking because I feel like I've been talking for like 6 hours. I don't know how we got here. All right, game, I need you to load. I checked this earlier, but it's not going to load again until I click the window. Okay. Yeah, hilarious jokes. I'm so good at stuff. Okay, so yeah, we're in the memory of pots, and I think we are supposed to click on all of the pots, and she's going to tell us stories of how she's such a good excavator of barrows, which is like definitely a thing. By the way, hello to everyone. Happy early birthday to Sarah. I hope everyone is well. Feel free to lurk and whatever. It's nice to have you. I didn't really call out everyone when they came in, and I feel bad about that. But we got Neko and Anime and Angel and Demolition and Old Pixie and my mom. Hi, mom. And anyone I missed, I apologize. And anyone coming in later, hello. And also, it's pot time.
I think you brought this one back from a trip abroad.
Oh, these are his pots. For some reason, I remembered it being her pots.
I would have loved to go with you, but Mother didn't want me to. I remember you being so proud of it. It looks ancient.
Wouldn't it be funny if, like, because, like, we've sort of idolized our father to some extent. He, like, taught us how to be a barrow excavator and whatever. Wouldn't it be kind of funny if he was just, like, a total fraud? He was just, like, really good at pottery, was, like, his whole thing. And he just, like, made these really, like, intricate pots. And then he'd, like, come back home and be like, oh, man, I found this at, like, an ancient burial site. And then he would just sweat profusely. I don't know. That's not actually funny at all, is it? How about this extremely small one?
This is from the first dig I remember you taking me on. The excavation of West Kennet Long Barrow.
These all sound fictional.
I
Oh,
found
hang
it
on.
wedged behind a stone as you ate your sandwich. You said, "Now there's a tiny urn for a tiny girl."
Rude. Your birthday's Monday. I didn't know that, anime. Happy early birthday to you, too. It seems like I know a lot of people with like March birthdays. Like a really high percentage of people close to me have March birthdays. It's a lot. Use this wife's money to buy old pots on eBay. Now that would be really impressive considering that it is the year. And if you're saying to yourself, Vasco, you didn't just say a number, you just sort of muttered into your hand. Correct. I don't know what year it is, but it's like, I don't know, like turn of the century or something. There's a train, but that's about as much as I got, honestly. That seemed like a rude thing to say, even if she's your daughter and a tiny girl.
Mother was so angry when you brought this one home, wasn't she? "William, that simply will not do. It's taking up all the space on the mantelpiece."
Is that the British spelling of mantelpiece? Am I having like a stroke, or is that differently spelled than I would expect it to be? I feel like that's true.
Once you moved it to your study, I remember creeping in to take a peek at it.
Regular
We
pot.
found this one together in that mucky old barrow near Avebury.
These are all just so fictional. Welcome to the stream, Arcadius, and thank you for the 67-month resub. That's like pretty nice. And thank you for sharing the happy birthday to Sarah. Enjoy this.
I think it was the second time you'd taken me on a dig with you. I remember you bringing it up to your face to look inside and shrieking in horror. "There's a bloody rat in there," you screamed. We've talked about.
This is the one I
You
didn't
were
click, I guess.
incredibly excited about this one. I hadn't gone on an expedition with you yet. You were so happy about it, showing it to Mother and I. You didn't stop talking about it for hours.
I feel like this is me with Magic the Gathering stories.
I thought, how can Daddy be so excited over some old broken pottery? But it wasn't long until
Never
I
got an answer.
understood. I almost forgot. While I was searching for your pots in the shed, I found one of your manuscripts.
Oh, did it? Oh yeah, a big part of last week's stream too, if you missed it, was the game insisted that we ask everyone about folklore, local folklore. And even though the accounts from some of the locals were a little bit different, they mostly all referred to a local hobgoblin, which is part of the namesake of Hobb's Barrow. It is believed that a hobgoblin lives in the Barrow, and we're sort of led to believe that that's the figure that we saw in our first purple dream. And the hobgoblin's name, I think, is like Saxnot, if I remember correctly.
I thought Mother had burnt all your notebooks, but she missed one.
And we had a previous flashback where we were like burning some of his old books, and I actually paid close attention to this watching it back before posting to YouTube. It didn't have the exact name Saxnot in it, or whatever the precise name was of the hobgoblin, but it was like something that felt similar enough that seemed remarkable to me. That was named Hobbs Barrow because they were big fans of Fast and the Furious. Again, this is the year. So that like franchise isn't well established in England, of course. Oh man, that'd be so good, Sarah. If like one of the pots was just Pot of Greed, that would be a pot. I'd understand why you'd get excited about that one, because you get to draw 2 cards from your deck. I always loved in the Orichalcos arc in Yu-Gi-Oh! When like they go to like some building, like a pre-recorded message from Pegasus sends them to this building, and he gives them like the laziest puzzle of all time, and he's like, "I left something for you in the place where you would look for more cards," and then there's like a replica of the Pot of Greed that's like half the size of a car, and just like in the bottom of it is like a tiny envelope or something, and it's like, I feel like, I don't know, a little on the nose.
It was an account of barrows across the east of England. I managed to read it all before Mother took it away. Daddy, it was fascinating. I've decided that is what I want to do with my life. I'm going to travel the country, excavating and documenting my own finds. Well, as soon as I'm old enough to escape Mother, that is. When you're feeling better, we can go out on expeditions together again.
It's a weird energy here. I mean, I know that, like, I think we've seen Thomasina's mother in, like, exactly one cutscene, and she wasn't super chill because it was, like, the cutscene that depicted the point in time immediately after the father's accident. But, like, I mean, Thomasina is, like, clearly a daddy's girl, and I don't mean that, like, in a derogatory sense necessarily, but, like, she seems to really dote after her father and, like, never mentions the mother unless it's, like, vaguely derisively of, like, yeah, she, like, took my book again. Or whatever.
Just like we used to. I promise you'll get better, Daddy. I'll do whatever it takes to make it so.
Make it so, number one. Engage. Look real close at my eyes. It's unsettling that she looked right at the camera before this happened. Okay, now... guess I'm just going in a straight...
There's something ahead on the road.
I don't think I love the way the cutscenes interrupt things. I feel like I would prefer it if they had... Oh, okay. Hey, what the crap? Hey, what's happening? I was not prepared for this. Oh, good, another close-up on... Okay, hi. You come here often?
Mr. Ambrose.
I mean,
I'm going to help you.
Forever.
yeah, yikes forever. It would be really funny if we, like, cut him free and then he was like, no, I'm into that. And it's like, how am I supposed to know this?
Please hold
Sure.
still. I'm going to cut you free.
Oh, I was just gonna, like, you know, put him out of his misery was my plan. I guess we could cut him free, sure.
He had been so tightly bound that I could barely cut through without hurting him further. His mouth was stuffed full of flowers of a most peculiar scent. I was dismayed at such savagery, and wondered if the feral folk Father Roach had mentioned were responsible for this
darn.
abhorrent act.
Ah, darn indeed, right?
After some considerable effort, I managed to cut him free.
Well, you know, on the bright side, I kind of expected that to be more of an ordeal of puzzle solving. But I guess we could just lead him over to the manor and then be like, all right, now you two perform a public display of affection, which will obviously enrage the head maid long enough for us to steal one of her flowers or something.
Are you all right?
It looks like his cart also got smashed, which is, like, extra rude. Like, it's bad enough to just, like, brutalize him, but then to, like, presumably the cart is, like, part of his livelihood, and I imagine it'd be difficult to replace out here.
I, who were lost in visions of hell itself.
Nah, it's just Bewley. Eventually you get desensitized to
The
it.
devil. I saw the devil.
Who did this to you?
I don't remember. Oh, the terrible sights I saw. I won't forget them till my last breath.
Are you Mr. Ambrose?
Yes.
I don't think I like that answer. I mean, it seems unlikely to me that he's lying, but why would you not just say yes? Or, like, why yes? Or how do you know that? I don't like that he started saying something and then stopped himself and then said yes. That feels like a grift somehow, and I don't like it. You're right, a cat is licking the milk. It's probably toilet cat.
Edward Ambrose.
You were to meet Miss Tompkins today.
Aye, my love.
You're surprisingly well
Oh, my
informed.
darling love.
Let me take you to her. Here, take my hand. As we made the arduous trek to Panswick Manor, I probed Mr. Ambrose on who had done this to him.
I would like to clarify something. His eyes were like bulging and panicked. He's not blinded though, as far as we know, right? Did anyone get the impression he was like blinded? I don't feel like anyone mentioned that he was like previously blind, but like why do we need to take his hand? Like it'd be one thing to like help him, you know, brace his weight by like slinging his arm over your shoulder, like help him walk the rest of the road because he's like exhausted from being tied up or whatever. But like taking the hand doesn't feel like it's super useful unless he needs like literal guidance. It seems weird to me.
He insisted that he didn't remember anything except for his nightmarish visions.
So what instrument do you think the little girl played for him?
Love.
Eddie! Jesus, what happened to you? Were you in a fight?
I lost the fight with some flowers. I don't really understand it either.
Don't fret not, my love.
I thought you'd abandoned me.
Never. Thank your friend here for helping me out of a bind.
A literal bind. Isn't that fun wordplay?
Oh, Eddie!
Or is it too soon?
Let's get out of here, my darling.
Hang on. You thieving bint!
Oh, okay. Yeah, I looked away for a second. She just stole them flowers like an actual psychopath. Honestly, I'm starting to think that the maid would have been like a better protagonist for this game than Thomasina. Don't get me wrong. I'm a pretty big Thomasina fan. But like, Thomasina just doesn't have it in her to just be like, I'm taking these flowers. I need to solve a puzzle.
I'll have your guts for garters! Oh, stick it where the sun don't shine, you bitter old sow!
This escalated quite rapidly.
Shake!
Maid gets things done. I bet she would have used the knife on the woman. I think so too. I mean, I think years of abuse sort of primed her for it, at the very least. I bet we can steal the broom. It seems like we can, right? I don't know why it would be there like that.
Here you are, Mum.
I'm really quite surprised that the angry lady didn't, like, try to impose more consequences.
Thank you, Miss Tompkins.
No, thank you for finding my poor Eddie.
Aye, thank you, lass.
Let's go, Eddie. I'm never setting foot on this godforsaken estate again.
Ooh, on the third day, do we get a job as a maid? It probably coincides with the painting.
Good luck,
Need
you
a broom or something? I mean, we're gonna have it. Got the eloper's achievement. I can't. It's, believe it or not, it is not an inventory item. I too am shocked by this. I mean, I realized it was part of like her idle animation cycle, but like it for sure looks like an inventory item. Man, I can't even like go into the house ever. That's pretty peculiar. Like that also doesn't have a hitbox. I can only go to like the back of the house. What a terrible protagonist, right? Like, if you're in an adventure game, you pick up anything that's not like actively going to cause you harm, even if it doesn't physically make sense. Like in the game I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, which is an actual honest-to-God video game that's like an adaptation of a Harlan Ellison story, where he voices the angry, evil supercomputer. At one point, like this like grumpy, like bitter guy like shoves his mother-in-law in his inventory. Like that is how you play an adventure game. That's how you do it. All right, let's use the map if I can remember. I guess I should go to the church.
I have something for you.
You found them? Oh, you dear child. Let's take them straight to Albert. You'll come with me, won't you?
What kind of person would you have to be to say no at this point? I mean, it's a little weird to me that she wants us there. Like, since she does, I have no problem with it. But like, can you imagine? Like, you're like trying to like leverage these cakes from her to like solve your problem, and then you're like, oh, like why don't I help like get a proper grave marker for your recently deceased husband? And she's like, oh, like I'd really appreciate having someone there with me. And we're just like, I don't. I got like a thing later. Jeez, I don't know.
Of course, Mrs. Duplancy.
Started raining in the game too.
You know, the things I miss most about him are the things that used to annoy me. The click of his jaw as he chewed his sandwiches.
You probably should have got that looked at. That might be why he's dead. Sorry, I didn't mean to be insensitive.
Leaving his tools all around the house.
Well,
It's just quiet at home now.
I clicked.
Silence. The funny thing is, that's what he always craved.
You know, the way you're describing this, it's starting to sound like the premise to like a Twilight Zone episode or something. Just like be careful when you go home is all I'm saying.
Peace and quiet. He were a good man, our Albert.
Oh, hello?
Sounds like he was. I'm so sorry.
Do you fear death, pet?
An unexpected question with unexpected answers. Is it a bad time to ask? It feels like a worse time to answer. I mean, this is unlike most of these. It doesn't tell us that there's like context to the choices or that like one of them's a lie or something. It's the part in between that concerns me most. Does that mean like getting sick because of her father? Like if that's the implication, I feel like that's a reasonable answer. I kind of mostly just want to know exactly what this means, so I'll maybe let the game give me context.
It's the part in between that concerns me most.
Whatever do you mean?
My father had an accident many years ago. Ever since, he's been in a state where he can neither speak nor move.
Oh, that does sound dreadful. I'm sorry, pet.
I believe his mind to still be active, but perhaps this is the worst of all fates. To be trapped in one's own body and unable to express oneself while the world continues around you. That is what I fear.
Maybe he'll get better one day.
Now I have a sneaking suspicion that, like, that's gonna happen to us by the end of the game because we said it.
I'd do anything to make it so. Those
She's
flowers
said
look
that
beautiful.
before.
They do. Albert will be smiling down on us. Pet, I left my basket inside the church. You'll find some Bakewell puddings in there. You can have them.
Oh, you...
I insist. You've brought an ounce of happiness into my day, dear. It's only just that I return some.
Thank you, Mrs. Duplancy.
To be truthful with you, I was saving them for myself.
Aww. Sweet old lady. She's on my nice list for the town. I like her and the witch. And for the moment, I like the rich guy, but, like, he's clearly, like, a cult leader, like, for sure. Like, 100% that man is leading the Cthulian cult and is encouraging us to dig up the Barrow because he has evil
I
designs.
shouldn't be so selfish. Lord forgive me.
You're nothing of the sort.
I'll stay here with Albert a bit longer. You go back to your day, Pet. Lord be with you.
And you, Mrs. Duplancy.
I don't know why. I just feel like I want to save file here. We might be near the end of day 2. I feel like when we turn in the cakes, I don't know what I expect to happen after that.
Here they are.
It just always looks ridiculous. I appreciate that a non-zero amount of the time we don't, like, just see her pick things up from behind, but, like... You know what I'm not saying? I want to see it in my inventory.
Mrs. Duplancy's famous Bakewell puddings. They smell delicious.
Still not entirely sure I'm familiar enough with this type of pudding to understand what I'm looking at exactly. Oh, the Eastern Road is the last location, huh? That feels super weird. Before I turn in these cakes, I want to see if there's anything else I could do there.
These flowers. Perhaps they had a queer effect on Mr. Ambrose's mind.
Drop it low.
Perhaps I could show them to Mildred Walker.
Yeah, I could do that. That's the thing I could do. No, I spooked it. Cat doesn't
The
like
milk
me.
is not salvageable.
That's quitter talk. Please lick the milk out of the mud. Thank you.
The milk is... The
You in the
cart
bottles?
is... Mr. Ambrose's cart has been smashed to pieces.
I should have taken out the violin at the grave.
Bakewell, 32 miles. Bewley really was in complete isolation before the railway line came in.
Woof. Use tongue on floor. In Full Throttle you probably could. Oh, for sure. Even that game didn't really let you use tongue enough. Yeah, I said it. Look, I heard it too. Let's go check with Lady Mildred.
Good day.
Been picking berries for like 9 hours.
Farewell.
No, I guess I have to show it to her. And not just talk to her about it. The game's a little inconsistent about that. It's not a huge deal, but...
Good day.
It starts like the
Do you
same way,
recognise
but I
this
can't
flower?
just...
Hellebore.
Pardon?
Quite common, in fact.
Is it known for any special properties?
Aye, many depending on who you ask. Some say it can be used in curses or incantations. They say it has the power to alter perception, opening a passage to the subconscious or another world.
Can't help but notice that the coloration of this flower is not extremely dissimilar to the weird purple visions of the goat world.
So it causes one to hallucinate.
You could say so. I certainly wouldn't recommend eating it.
Thank you.
I'd love it if she says that last part while she's like picking berries in the bush and then looks over her shoulder and like we have the whole flower in our mouth like, hmm? Like, why would your first instinct, just leave, just go. Alright, I guess I'll go turn in the cake now. What you should get, oh, hi, you're here, hello.
The vision returns.
See, he's so charming. And, like, definitely evil. Can't stress him.
I come bearing gifts.
Freshly baked gifts?
Yes. 3 of Mrs. Duplancy's famous Bakewell puddings.
Oh,
Keep in mind they're both soggy from the heavy rain, and also they've been in my pocket with a number of strange things, including an old chicken stone.
you are an amusing creature, Thomasina.
See, when I say things like this, women are really scared, which is correct.
What do you mean?
I was actually thinking the same thing, Neko. I feel like she should have started that with, like, yes, I do have freshly baked puddings. I, in fact, have 2 of them.
You must think me a scoundrel of the highest order for asking you to undertake such folly. Of course I would have lent you my men either way. I merely desired an excuse to share a cake with you.
Yeah, this man wants to share our cakes. I don't blame him, but, like, maybe there's an easier way to go about it. I don't know. I am a griffin of sorts. Amazing creature.
Lord Panswick.
I take no pleasure in watching you scurry about Bewley to fulfill my every whim.
I doubt that. Look at the way she fills out those excavation trousers.
Or do I?
I do not find this amusing in the slightest. You have no idea what I had to go through to get these for you.
I mean, the thing that makes this funny instead of just making me upset, and it's more from a playing a video game standpoint than like an actual appreciation of the situation, but this did the most damage to his own like head servant lady, because we like absolutely ruined her life. Like the maid stole like both of her nice flowers. I thought we were just taking one of them. They're all gone now. And, like, that's, like, permanent. Like, we did that to get this man cakes. And he's just like, yeah, well, I don't really care about her either.
Oh, I do. And that's what I admire about you. Tenacity. Even in the face of something you know to be absurd. You don't give up, do you?
Never. Though in this case, I ought to have.
Now then, will you share one of these tempting confections with me?
I mean, I can't imagine like, two of these three answers are no, and I feel like that's just incorrect. We've already, look, we're not gonna replant those flowers. It's just not happening. The damage is already done. We gotta get those cakes. We swam through a figurative lake full of water for those cakes. Now we gotta eat those cakes. Like, I can't imagine us not, like, it is effective, we're in the window that we can effectively say it is Sarah's birthday, true. But, like, I don't even think that's a critical factor here. Like, we would eat the cake, for sure. But, like...
Why not?
Splendid! I'm glad the rain doesn't put you off. You like to live a little dangerously, don't you, Thomasina? Let us stroll to the beck.
The really loud beck? In the already loud rain?
That sounds nice.
Okay, I got an achievement called Romance on the Moors, so the game interpreted that in a very particular way that perhaps I didn't mean to, but I'm fine with it.
His hand occasionally brushing my own.
Ooh, hee.
Despite Lord Panswick's entertaining company, I had an overwhelming feeling that time was being wasted.
I mean, the thing we needed to do today was get people to help us excavate the site, which we did. Why not have a cake?
We ate those cakes down by the beck, and as he attempted the most charming lines he could muster upon me, I only had one thing on my mind.
Women want only one thing, and it's terrible. Excavating Hob's Barrow. SLR asks, what about birthday donuts? Neko rightly responds, well, we would need to be in a bathroom for donuts. But, of course, not only does Thomasina refuse to go to the bathroom, also true, but, I mean, a Bakewell pudding is best enjoyed on a beck. So, you know, you go inside to the bathroom to have donuts, and you stay outside by the beck to eat puddings. You understand? There's like a whole etiquette to this or something.
Father, could he be saved from his suffering? Was the answer to be found within Hob's Barrow?
It seems much more likely that the answer to ruining your own life is there, but
I
sure.
ached to find out. I didn't even notice the taste of those famous puddings.
That's tragic. The tragedy, that's all that is.
Seemingly disheartened by my lack of enthusiasm, Lord Panswick soon marched me back toward the ruined chapel.
Chaps, listen up. You're to assist Miss Bateman's excavation tomorrow. What time, Miss Bateman?
Early morning, if you don't mind.
See, I know this had to be some time ago because we haven't reached a point where, like, we schedule things to the degree that we do in the modern or even relatively modern era. What time? Early. Very good.
We'll be there whenever you need us, miss.
We'll sleep there now. We live there.
Hobbs Barrow, on the Bryden estate, if I'm not mistaken.
We'll be there.
Take your tools with you. Miss Bateman will need every assistance we can provide her with.
It's no bother.
Splendid.
Thank you, lads.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll see you later, my dear.
Thank you, Lord Panswick.
Also, I presume this is some time ago because we must not have invented umbrellas for God's sake. There's none to be found here.
We're finishing up here, miss. See you tomorrow morning, all right?
Certainly. I appreciate your help. Well, that's a relief to have my crew assembled for tomorrow. It's getting dark and cold. Time to head back to the plough and furrow.
Never not funny.
I've
Can I have
no
a
time
sheep?
for frolicking with the flock.
I mean, if I counted them, it would help me get to sleep when I get back, but maybe it would trigger too early. I kind of want to go manually, just to get a sense of whether anything's changed in the light, or lack thereof, and the rain. No, surely no bad things will happen. What gives you that idea? Now it's foggy and raining and dark. Hey, wait a minute. What's going on here? Oh, that must be Miss Clancy, right? Because, like, we found out that Albert, her husband, who recently died, like, he was the cobbler. And this is, like, the cobble
I can't
post.
take the sign, nor do I want to.
Please take the sign. That's not what I wanted you to, like, look at it. But, like, now that you said that, like, please take the sign.
The sign is in a shabby state, but the shop appears to be a cobbler's. No one here.
Should I be extra concerned about that? With the light on?
Evening, Miss Bateman.
Good evening, Stanley.
Oh.
Your lordship.
Nani?
Stanley, my good man.
To what do we owe the pleasure of your visit, your lordship?
I've come to wish Miss Bateman good fortune for her grand excavation tomorrow.
I would point out in this precise moment that we, like, essentially just left you, and you could have done that, like, before I left the estate and saved you the trouble of walking here in the rain. Like, it just feels like weird. That feels like a weird way to do that.
I'm really rather curious as to what she might turn up.
As am I, your lordship.
He wants a room for the night. How, like, uncomfortable would that be? Like, the wealthy lord who, like, runs the town just, like, shows up, like, oh, what are you doing here, your lordship? And then he's like, I was hoping Miss Thomasina would help me locate Bone Town. Just, like, right in front of, like, half the town. Just, like, chilling at the pub attached to the inn, like, ugh.
An exciting time for Bewley. Wouldn't you agree, Stanley?
Oh, yes, your lordship. Very, very exciting.
My dear, please, allow me the pleasure of buying you a drink.
It's so funny to see Stanley interact with this guy. Because, like, Stanley, since day one's been like, listen, I don't want to say anything to upset you, but, like, you really shouldn't excavate Hobbs Barrow. It's like, bad. Like, don't do it. And then this guy shows up and he's like, welcome. Hello, everyone. Isn't it a great thing that we're excavating Hob's Barrow? And he's like, why, yes, your lordship.
A welcome antidote to the wind's bite. Wouldn't you say, Stanley?
Yes, indeed, your lordship.
I mean, I don't know if this game has like a romance path. There's part of me that says it's probably more narratively interesting if we try to get a little close to him before this inevitably goes sideways. Cannot stress enough that this man is a villain, if not the villain of this game, for sure. I mean, Leonard Shoulder, definitely also problematic. But, like, this guy, already shared a pudding with him, may as well grab a drink. You know, I like how you put that, Kronos. I feel like you got the right vibe.
Why not?
Went to a lot of trouble to get the cakes. Might as well provide the beverage,
Splendid. You heard the fair lady.
Sure. Like Stanley just scoots over. She looks really impatient all of a
There
sudden.
you are.
Thank you.
Everyone, raise your glasses to Miss Bateman.
A mandatory toast. You will be executed in the town square should you refuse.
May she conquer Hob's Barrow and find all that she desires. Hip hip!
Hooray!
You don't wish to join me in a beverage?
Oh, you go ahead, my dear.
I only drink the blood of sacrificed goats.
Alcohol does not sit well with my constitution.
Thank you, your lordship. I needed that.
If he had poured the drink, I'd be more eminently suspicious of that. But I do agree that that is some source for caution, definitely. Not favorite.
I aim to provide you with whatever your heart desires. I've reminded my chaps they're to meet you at Hob's Barrow in the morning.
Again, we like just came from there. Like basically just now. I literally saw you do that.
Thank you again, Lord Panswick.
Till we meet again, faites des beaux rêves.
Did you say?
Mr. Shoulder?
Your lordship?
There was a really subtle sound in the background. It's almost like a heartbeat or something. Yeah, very suspicious. Maybe we should talk to Leonard Shoulder
Hello
about
again,
that.
Mr. Shoulder.
Miss Bateman.
I've recruited the help of some local labourers to help with the excavation.
I know, I was here when his lordship said that just now.
Marvellous. When do we start?
Tomorrow morning, first thing.
Wonderful.
Can I count on your assistance?
Of course. I'll meet you here at the Plough and Furrow.
What else can you tell me about the previous excavation?
I think I covered it earlier, Miss Bateman. As you yourself said, it were a time of superstitious hysteria.
What was it like, living in that period of hysteria?
I kept to myself. It didn't really affect me. My hens stayed healthy and their eggs kept me well fed.
I wasn't reading the subtitle that I'm also covering with my face. I thought he said my hands stayed healthy and their eggs kept me well fed, and then my brain shut down for a second and I was like, hand eggs? American football?
If one can keep a level head in such situations, one can get by.
Indeed. Is there anything else I should be aware of before my own excavation? No other ghouls I should be worried about?
Picture an egg. Picture an egg.
Picture an egg. Yes, indeed. We should all picture an egg. You heard that too? Okay, I'm glad that wasn't just me. That's I don't know why, but like that read weird to me. It would be really funny. No other ghouls I should be worried about? He's like, oh, you didn't ask about ghouls. Of course, at Ghoul's Barrow. Instead of a hobgoblin. ...
You know the answer to that. The corruption in that soil were all in the minds of men.
Thank you for your time.
Aye, Miss Bateman. I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Can I finally give the weird troubadour guy the sketchy violin so he could play some cursed music for me?
I can't think of anything else to talk about right now.
I'm gonna give it a shot. Why not?
I'm not sure they would...
If I interrupt this conversation again, do you think it'll go poorly?
I'll leave those two to their conversation.
Ah, darn.
Sorry.
Arthur.
I've seen her.
Arthur?
Dun, dun, dun,
I've
dun.
remembered something.
What is it, Arthur?
That's actually a great point. Did we miss the concert? I assume no. As bad as it looks, I feel like we would be able to talk to him and apologize if we missed it. I think once we finish talking to everyone, or like say we're gonna go to bed, then he'll start playing. I could be wrong. That's my guess.
Not here. Meet me outside. In the alley.
Why is everyone so suspicious? Why is everyone so suspicious? I don't care that they use my likeness
Stinking
for his
drunk.
model.
But let's hear what he has to say. I don't need to use the filthy lavatories.
Must I go out the front door?
Hello again, Cyril.
You're still here? Leave me be, lass.
Friendly as always, Cyril.
You've changed your tunes, Stanley. An exciting time for Bewley. I thought you didn't want me to excavate Hobbs Barrow.
I'm very glad that she calls him on this. That makes me happy.
Well, what can I get you?
I'm fine for now, thank you.
What about the market couple? Do you mean the couple who eloped? I think they're just gone.
What is it?
I forget.
First of all, I must apologize to you. That night we met, when I vanished.
Herb Lady and Appleman. I think they were here the night before, and like they got really mad when I tried talking to them. So when I click on them now, she's like, "I'm not gonna talk to them."
Yes?
Well, there were a man in the loo. A hooded man. He threatened me with a beating if I told you anything about what I saw.
Oh, Arthur, that's terrible.
That man would almost necessarily be Leonard Shoulder.
What did you see?
That's the thing. I hadn't the foggiest idea what he were on about. It was a drink, you see. I'm an embarrassment, Thomasina.
No argument here.
No, you're not, Arthur.
Well, hang on now.
Here's what I need to tell you. I've remembered what you were on about.
Oh?
Standing in the woods today, I knew there was something. I waited, I concentrated, and it finally came back to me.
Please, you're keeping me in some serious suspense here.
That horse is gonna kick us. I don't know, it didn't kick us when we, like, cut off part of his tail to make a violin bow.
All right. It were a couple of days before I met you.
Flashback where we look real close at his eyes.
Hurry now, Leonard.
Ah, yeah, they're working
not
together.
as quick as I used to be.
That tracks. This feels correct and bad.
This leg is getting worse by the day.
Yes, yes. I'm constantly made aware of your failing health. Do not fear. You said he has promised you the reward of your returned strength.
Yeah, like they for sure worship Cthulhu. And Leonard sent her a letter because I think he said that he saw a story about her in the newspaper that she like dug up barrows. So like that I think is true. And they just needed someone to like dig up the ancient, I don't know, ritual site or something. And I'm guessing that the hobgoblin is like some sworn protector to try and like stop people from invoking Cthulhu or whatever.
Aye, and it can't come soon enough.
Are you sure that it must be her blood?
Oh, that's not good. That's bad. I don't like that sentence.
Aye, she's family.
I don't like that sentence either. These are bad sentences.
And she gets here in 2 days.
Aye.
We must bring her to the site as soon as she arrives.
See, one thing this makes me curious about, though, is, like, what did happen with Leonard Shoulder the day he was supposed to meet us? So, he came to town and threatened Arthur not to talk about this conversation. That, sure, get it, makes sense. But, like, it's so strange to me that if they wanted her to be here, that they would leave her in a position where, like, they almost incentivize her to leave with how much this town hates visitors and the train and, like, everything that doesn't belong here. Like, how would it fit into their plan to, like, not meet her when she shows up and, like, help her secure the rights to dig up the site or whatever? Like, that seems weird. Maybe the cat scared him off. I mean, maybe it's the evil cat, I don't know.
No. Your lordship, with all due respect, we've been through this. We need to ease her into the idea. She would laugh in our faces if we just asked for it.
Who said we would ask?
He told me that she needs to give it willingly.
This little scheme of yours better work, Leonard.
It will, your lordship. We've got the perfect bait.
Wait. Who goes there? Did you hear something? Ah, a moonlight tryst.
Uh-oh.
After something, are you, Mr. Tillett?
Your lordship, let me...
Save your words, you drunken wretch. Off you go, skedaddle. Don't make me ask twice.
Like, I clearly understand what his motive is in doing this. Just, whether or not Arthur just told us what he presumes that Arthur just told us, does he not feel as though this makes him seem more suspicious, just in any case?
I do wish you wouldn't spend so much time with that fool. It's beneath a woman of your standard. It's sad, really. That dog urine they serve here has rather pickled the man's brain.
I bet Stanley would be very upset to hear that, considering how pleased he was to say whatever this man wanted to hear.
You're being most unfair to him. Mr. Tillett is a nice man.
Come now. I shall bid thee adieu once more, but I do not wish for this to come between us. All the very best wishes for your excavation tomorrow, my dear.
Thanks.
Great point, Kronos. The dog urine he just bought us. Yes, that dog urine, correct. You would think that that would be beneath a woman of our stature, or whatever he said. I think I want to save here. I don't know why.
It's late.
No, I can't go back in the alley. I was going to save it as horse kick. Question mark. Echo says, I thought dog urine was the intentional flavor of beer. You know, I wouldn't know, but I get that impression too. Let's steal this horse. I would love it if later in the game we just came back up to the horse and were like, we are doing this! And then just rode off into the sunset. Oh, it's concert time. I'm hoping that you can't also hear it, but the telltale drip from my ceiling detracts from the fun of this. Brown Town. Let us fiddle. That would be fun. Alas, I cannot. If you get guns and sunglasses and get a Hot Fuzz ending. I don't know if this game has multiple endings. I really can't tell if choices matter in this game. Is it... How long does it... How long can this go on? Stanley laughed. Lady has a nice swish. You're not wrong, it's a good swish. Oh, hey, cool. So that's the thing that the home screen does, if you weren't here? I haven't started the stream on the home screen all the time. Because you have to, like, manually adjust the settings just to use it as background noise. What flash just then? Purple? Purple flash? It's like a glimpse into the purple goat world. It's not really the goat world, but like to me the goat vision of the purple world was the quintessential experience to date. It's probably more like the Hobgoblin Moon world or something. Can't make out any of the words. I mean, it's pretty quiet, maybe quieter than I would expect, but also like probably would DMCA me on YouTube. Not that that's a huge concern of mine. It's not exactly like a song you can dance to, though. Like, the swish is nice, but, like, it feels a little odd, doesn't it? What? It feels like there's a second instrument playing now? How's that happening? Is it really just him playing, like... It feels like two instruments. Giving Twin Peaks vibes. Yeah, that seems fair. This is pretty Twin Peaksy. Except instead of the red room, you get the purple vision. Someone's playing along in the bathroom. Maybe. Maybe that's why we won't go back there. You don't get a clear vision of the purple because it happens fast and is distorted. I think it was trying to make him look like a man with goat horns. Like it was trying to transpose the like big deer, the big like buck on the wall with like him as one figure. I think the game ran out of music and didn't expect me to get that far. He's not. It's, see, now, like, an obstinate part of my brain wants to, like, black sad this and, like, wait to see if it will break more. Like, I don't think you're supposed to enjoy the entire concert, is my impression. Okay, welcome to the stream. We've just about finished day 2. Oh, we got to the end, okay. See, I'm kind of glad I stayed for that, even though there was no additional benefit to doing so. So we're probably going to have a nightmare, and then it's going to be day 3, and it's going to have some absurd name. But then, you know what we're going to do? Eventually excavate Hob's Barrow after solving several more puzzles, probably. Oh, it's purple time. Down, no. Down, no. Is that a coffin? No, it's the trunk in which we've stored our travel trunk. A box within a box, I think is the thing she says every time we look at it. Can't look at the moon. The marker stone isn't here. Oh no, we have... The moon is close to the Earth's gravity. It's extra heavy. There's something wrong with Earth's gravity in the year 1985? Hey, Saxnot, or whatever.
So, Thomasina. The journal proves I'm telling you the truth, does it not?
It does.
Dawn of the final day. I feel like technically we're on like dawn of the first day. My precious.
Good. Now listen. I can help him again. We can help him. Together.
Oh, no. Maybe the hobgoblin isn't good. Maybe the hobgoblin is the dream manifestation of the unknowable Cthulhu beast trying to tempt us into willingly agreeing to the ritual by being like, if you do what I say, I can help your father. But in reality, it's like a bad ritual to break the seventh circle or whatever. Some horrible bad thing. Help him. I mean, I think in this context, the him is still supposed to be your father. It's just, I don't know that he's being honest. That's my read.
All those years ago, your father entered this barrow with the goal of binding me within it.
That feels like a bad start. Like, this feels like a bad start to your sales pitch to, like, how he's... So, like, yeah... Years ago, your father came to this place trying to seal my evil within this cursed tomb, and then I struck him down with plot disease, and if you do what I say, then it'll be fine. Like, it's not like a super compelling argument, huh? Him from Powerpuff Girls? No, him from Powerpuff Girls would be way more charismatic, and... a troubling amount sexier, I think, for sure.
All because the people of Bewley have gotten it into their heads that Sack's not what cause of their plight. I tell you, Thomasina, we're not.
If Saxnot is a distinct entity and is the Hobgoblin, I am inclined to think that Saxnot isn't evil, but I don't like the way he's talking in this dream sequence. Like the Darkwing Duck shirt. Thank you. I felt like purple would be an appropriate color to wear in light of excavating Hob's Barrow. Him is an amazing villain.
Your father botched his incantation, leaving me in this weakened state, stuck in this limbo. As for him, well, you know how he ended up.
Did you do that to him, though?
Doesn't sound right. Incantations. My father is a man of...
You don't know your father, Thomasina. How old were you? A child of not even 5, 6 years?
And he says, I was really disturbed by him when I was a kid. That's also true. Him is disturbed. Like, him is very well crafted as a villain, the character him from Powerpuff Girls. Like, him is this bizarre, like, cross-section of, like, so many ideas of, like, charismatic and, like, deeply troubling and, like, villainous without being, like, outright evil a lot of the time. Just, like, more a force of general chaos than, like, the same type of villain that a lot of the other Powerpuff Girl villains are.
You need to enter this barrow and undo what your father did. The spell must be undone. Then not only will I regain my strength, but your father will too.
But how do I...
Blood.
Yeah, no thanks. I almost didn't advance and was gonna say, like, I'm willing to hear him out as long as he doesn't want my blood. And the second his answer is blood, I'm like, no, definitely not. Thankfully, our drunkard friend, Arthur Tillett, who probably has been murdered in the night, if I'm being honest with you, luckily, he told us what he did, and we know that this is precisely the method which the evil Cthulhu cult wants us to do. So, like, this is, like, the one thing we, like, definitely, absolutely should not do.
The truest symbol of life and death. It's the life which flows within you, but it's also death once it escapes.
I don't understand.
Worry not how you'll undo what's been done. When the time comes, you'll know exactly what to do. Time is short. Your father and I grow weaker by the hour.
He's made it, like, 20 years in this state. It's hard for me to believe that, like, all of a sudden there's a ticking clock on this.
Go. Save your father.
Incancementum, the third day. I mean, it is dawn of the third day, in a literal sense. I miss Toilet Cat. Toilet Cat was a much better dream.
I must undo what has been done. Father, I'm coming.
I refuse to make the joke. I won't do it. Game saved.
I've stored my case in there. A box within a box.
That was just to answer the earlier question from chat. Okay, hold on. What's in my inventory? Yesterday, when I started the day, my inventory changed because some stuff went off. The flour may go away. Not totally sure what the deal there is. Of course, I'm still not sure why I'm able to take a worm on the first day if it just dies in my pocket. Oh, the cat's just in here. That's new. I don't think the cat ever... even when we had the dream of Toilet Cat, it was gone by morning. Now the cat's here, even though it didn't like us going near it at the cart site. Are we friends
Herbert?
now?
How did you get in here?
I got the achievement Herbert. Animations on that cat are super weird to me.
It doesn't matter anymore. I've got much more important things to get on with.
I feel like I want a Herbert save. I don't know how many saves I get, but I'm just gonna keep doing it. It's an interesting point, anime, just in a vacuum. You shouldn't undo what was started, you should finish what he started. Like, if you have all this respect for your father, why wouldn't you trust that whatever he was doing for a good reason? Oh, you're, like, out and about. I didn't think you had legs, Stanley, to be honest.
Stanley?
Ah, Miss Bateman.
For a second, I thought we were, like, trapped in a half-dream, half-waking state.
Mr. Shoulder left a note for you.
Thank you, Stanley.
I'm really hoping it's just, like, crudely scrawled in blood and it just says, Excavate! Meet me at my home as soon as you read this. There is no time to waste. Leonard.
Oh, there were a key with it, too.
I don't think I like that much. We've gone this long without going in Leonard's house. I don't like the idea. Let me see what my to-do list says. Yeah, hopefully we can, like, take his hens with us and ride off into the sunset on that stolen horse. And I guess the only choice we have is to do with the plot. But, like, I mean, it's, like, a bad idea. Look, there's an umbrella. There's one umbrella in the whole town. And I can't have it. And no one else will use it either.
Miss Bateman, I beg you, in the name of God, leave this town.
What has happened? Did he hear about the fact that we, like, talked with Lord Panswick and something he believes we're going to help him establish the evil church? Or is this something else?
Father Roach, what is the meaning of this?
There's nought for you here, lass. Clear off.
Rude.
I beg you, Miss Bateman. Father Roche, Mr. Farnaby, here to wish Miss Bateman good luck for her excavation, gentlemen.
Interesting. His tone is kind of stern. So, perhaps there are multiple factions in the town after all. And, like, Stanley's thrown his lot in with Lord Panswick. And so, like, them trying to scare her off, like, now Stanley's all of a sudden like, nah, she's gotta excavate, man. She's gotta undo what her father started, or whatever.
Am I heck?
Mr. Kemp, you know, an excavation strongly supported by Lord Panswick, no less.
I wish you well with your findings, Miss Bateman.
Oh, that's really troubling. Most of the town pulling that, I'd be like, oh, I get it. Like, you know, he's the rich, wealthy, influential guy. Like, they kind of have to do what he says. The priest saying that is really concerning to me. Because, like, more than anyone, he ostensibly has a reason to, like, not just fall in line. Because he seems like an actual man of faith and he doesn't trust the, like, chapel that Panswick is building at the back of his manor. Like, this is really troubling to me.
May the Lord strengthen you and guard you from the evil one.
The cat, right? Deliver us from Herbert.
Little children, guard yourselves from idols.
Good luck, Miss Bateman.
It is pretty weird, just like, Stanley was like very intent on like telling us to leave at first. Not to leave, but to like not excavate. And now he's like quadrupled down on us, like doing it all of a sudden. I sort of get it, but it still seems extreme.
Thank you.
I kind of want to check on Mrs. Duplancy. I don't think the game's gonna let me though. I can try checking the church too, but for some reason I suspect I won't find her today.
No one here.
Now's finally my chance to steal his anvil. Let me put it in my pocket like a good adventure game protagonist.
Beating raw metal into a fine object is an admirable skill.
In your pockets, Thomasina! Honestly.
I must make haste to Mr. Shoulder's residence.
I can't check on Miss Duplancy even if she's in the church. Unless she, like, keeled over on the grave or something troubling. In those back pockets. Yeah, you got the resources to prop it up. I know it's heavy, but, like, you got the cakes for it. Can't interact with the grave at all now. Interesting. Oh, good.
Douglas?
This day is super ominous. I don't love it here.
It's just a toy. It's no use to me.
Just an absolutely terrible adventure game protagonist. Look, I realize it's like a wooden toy sword, but like, there's gonna be a use for this later. Don't give me that.
It's just a toy. Douglas dropped his toy sword. It's just a toy.
Honestly. Here's a question. If I leave and come back, is it still there? Why does it have a hitbox if it has no meaningful interaction? It's just a toy. No, it's a sword. Oh, hang on. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Rabbit. Did you want the sword? I'll accept it if the little pixel bunny rabbit wants the sword instead. Because it's going to be a little bunny rabbit night? Because that sounds great. I want to play that game now. Chase the rabbit. I don't think that's going to work, but we could try it. I already don't know where it is. Description clearly says toy sword. Yeah, but like we got like a chicken rock in our pocket. Like you never know what's going to be useful. It's so weird to me that it's still there. Can we bring... You know what? That's actually a really good question. Can we bring Kenneth? Wait. Now a bunny shows up on the screen every time I come here? Well, that's a good feature. Is this the one where we met Kenneth the second and third?
The poor thing is beyond help.
Crow died on top of the worm pit.
The poor thing is beyond...
Can I give it a crow burial?
No, that won't achieve anything useful. I already recovered the ragdoll.
So I presume that the crow is just here to block me from getting more worms, which only adds more questions to my repertoire, frankly. But I do agree that this feels like yet another extremely bad omen. See, the bunny's here even... Oh, but it runs the other way. I can never befriend the bunny. Sorrow is me. Fiddle girl? Fiddle girl! What about bread? Can you get an endless supply of bread? Well, it wouldn't let me go in the church, and where else would I get ceremonial bread in a town like this? Wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. Only the rooster is here? Only the rooster is here and the hens are gone? Where will I get hand eggs now? Why are all of the omens so overt and extremely bad? These are not subtle omens. Everything is bad. It's not good.
Where did the hens go? Where did... A fearsome-looking beast.
Picture an egg.
Where did the hens go?
I don't know why, but the way she says that really amuses me. They needed Thomasina. I suppose the town head Kenneth I killed off, took her money so she couldn't easily leave town. It occurs to me that Ambrose tied up in flowers when he planned to leave town too. Well, in a sense that's true because Ambrose planned to elope, but like he was coming into town when he got tied up. Where did the hens go? The important question is, when did the hens go? Perhaps they traveled back in time to when our father got the blight upon him, or what have you. It's an interesting theory, though, Neko. It could be, like, it very well could be... I mean, there wasn't a lot of time between when the train that Kenneth was supposed to arrive in came to town and the box was taken away to the post office. So I'm a little skeptical of it. But, like, there's could be something there. Let the hens out. Because I'm surprised how much Picture an Egg has had. I mean, in the sense that there's been literally a lot of egg talk in this game, or just at large. Because, I don't know, people have seemed to like the metaphor for, like, this is getting weird, let me explain with a metaphor. Picture an Egg.
What's this?
Yeah, drop it low, Thomasina.
A box. It's locked.
Small key is for the box and not for the house?
Mr. Shoulder, I got your note. Explain yourself.
Yeah, Leonard Shoulder's not in the habit of doing that.
Curses.
It had been a minute. I was getting concerned. Also, we're going to have to learn a thing or two about curses if we're going to make it out of this game in one piece. Which, in fact, is the name of the treasure on the Grand Line. That would really get me, Cotillion. If the small key was for the box, which itself contains a key for the house. That's the locking keys in drawers scenario, which is like the epitome of like bad adventure game design. But like if applied in the right way, would be really funny. Small box contains the hens. Maybe? Let's find out.
Another one of these peculiar stones.
It's the kink stone. I don't like that it has "ah" written on it.
Wait, does this mean Mr. Shoulder was the third man on my father's excavation? There's a note underneath.
I mean, it seems like one of the most likely options. It's clearly abs. I mean, it's definitely an ab stone. My heart is his heart. My light is his light. I don't feel like I want to excavate Hob's Barrow anymore. So clearly the third stone is needed as part of the ritual. I don't know why you would include that note. I feel like I want to go... Oh, hang on. I can't fast travel. That's concerning also. Hi, rabbit. Bye, rabbit.
It's just a toy.
Hate this sword. I still want to know what the... No, Cotillion, it's more important than just the toy. I still want to know what the letters on that, like, marker stone are. AR. Like, I just... Part of me really just wants to believe that, like, that's tied to the third man. That, like, it definitely makes sense for it to be Leonard. For multiple reasons. But, like, it's almost too easy? It's, like, almost too easy. I still can't fast travel. How do I get...
It's time to excavate. Lord Panswick's men will be waiting for me.
Hang on. Okay, those screens definitely aren't adjacent to each other. That's fine. I want to check on the goat. Is this man not concerned that, like, we stole his pail for... Oh. Oh, no. They sacrificed the goat. They sacrificed Eunice, probably. Is there anything here I could observe to have her make note of this? No, she just doesn't care. The whole entire goat is gone.
Hello? Is anyone home?
It seems bad that everyone is gone.
Ah, the smell of death.
Alright, click on the gate, not to the destination. Hey, it's a cakewalk. Get it? Get it? Everybody laugh now. I want to understand this rock more than most of the mysteries in this game. Would it be a pip if it turned out this was the setup for a surprise birthday party for your character? That would be pretty interesting, Angel, I agree. Weird parallax hurts your brain, but that's how you know it's authentically retro, Cotillion. If she teamed up with Kate Walker from Siberia, it'd be a Kate Cake Walker. I have no argument there. That is, in fact, how you know, I presume. Nothing else about this, I think, makes that clear. Look at all the stones. I don't know if they actually spell anything out. Stone IAW has one asterisk and a whole chicken head on it. Three asterisks on Kaz. IAW Kaz. 2 snakes. And then Abpa. This one has 2 asterisks. So I presume that the asterisks somehow denote sequence in some fashion. I don't know that we will necessarily decipher the letters without the additional context of a puzzle.
Good morning, men. Thank you for braving the weather.
Iowabhakazar. Yeah, I think you solved it, Sarah. I think that's it. I think that's all we need to know. Now we can undo what our father started, or the opposite of that.
Aye, miss. Little rain is no bother.
I don't like how
here we
agreeable
start.
these men are.
Yes, we've not a moment to waste.
I'd love it if they just like did 3
And so,
shovelfuls and
the
were
excavation
inside.
of Hob's Barrow began.
There have been a lot of ill omens. I don't know about this. I think maybe we should have left Bewley several days ago. Roll credits.
Horace and his men learnt quickly and went about their work with care. We toiled for hours, rolling away great stones, removing mortar and masonry put in place by Father, Mr. Bryden and Mr. Shoulder. They had gone to great lengths to seal the barrow.
Hi, Ice Bunny. You're just in time. We are literally excavating Hob's Barrow right now. It's super cursed here, and I think Cthulhu calls it home. How are you doing?
I should have realised their efforts were not only to keep us out, but also to keep something contained within.
I mean, yeah?
Eventually, our careful application of pick, trowel and shovel gave way to open space. A stagnant, cadaverous odour was let forth.
I showered today. Why do you keep saying these things? It's very hurtful. Cthulhu lives under the sea. Is this where Yogg-Sothoth lives? Yogg-Saron? What's the Hearthstone equivalent? The weird chaos creature? It's not just a badger. I'm sure it's like the same badger. That same badger that like tricked us in that like hole in the ground before. Like it's the ultimate evil. It's been toying with us the whole time. It's snowing there, Ice Bunny. Hope you're staying warm. It's very wet here again.
I couldn't believe my eyes. Splendid work, all of you.
Step inside, miss. We'll be right behind you.
I don't like any of this.
Thank you, Horace. I can't wait a moment longer.
Are they gonna roll a big rock to cover the hole, like right behind us? Is that purple? There's clearly some purple over there. Oh, there's a bunch of those weird hallucination flowers. I don't know why I said it like that.
I can't get my head around this. How could they possibly grow here? Horace, come see this.
Like, they're definitely sealing us in here, right?
Horace? Chaps?
It's a perfectly reasonable thing to say, but just like not being British myself, there's something like really funny about just going outside and being like, chaps?
I've been abandoned.
Yeah, I have issues with that too. I got the abandoned achievement. Oh, I can't go anywhere else. There's no escape for these cakes. Okay.
Fairly standard Bronze Age pottery. Smashed to high heaven, I'm afraid. Not worth making a note of.
Drop it low. Pick it up extremely slow.
A burial urn, perhaps, though there's no sign of ashes. An unremarkable find.
Perfectly ordinary. What's happening?
try as I might, these flowers are steadfastly rooted.
Sure, okay, that's a reasonable thing to do. Just getting your squats in. Well, I mean, you have to maintain the cakes, right? Why don't I just put this over here with the rest of the
Hellebore,
flowers?
without a doubt. A simple hallucinogen, or a gateway to unknown worlds. Something tells me I'm about to find out.
I mean, seem like there's anything to really interact with that isn't the flowers. Does she just want me to cut a flower because she can't like uproot them?
Let's see if I can cut them away.
Okay. Drop it low.
Incredible. Something has been boarded up here. The boards are held down by 2 large rocks.
I mean, I can't say that I expected them to do like a super laborious heaving the heavy rock and gradually moving it animation, but there's something really funny to me about this solution of having her bend down and then the rock still kind of just magically slides over. Like, it's just like the weirdest of all options, I think. I hope she does it again. She had telekinesis the whole time. Could have saved us a bunch of trouble.
Iron stakes have been driven through the boards, holding them firmly in place.
Hey, maybe we shouldn't go to Camelot?
I feel uneasy about what might lie beneath, but what choice do I have?
My haphazard tools do I think is best for nails? Chisel or trowel?
I can't seem to budge the stakes with this. A passage!
Right, stakes equal nails, but I don't have a hammer.
Father, I'm coming.
I mean, just... I mean, more than anything, it seems like a... Oh, drop it low. It seems like a peculiar thing to say, because, like, you're not coming toward him at all. You're going nowhere near him. I knew I should have found another fossil.
Curses. Am I out of paraffin?
I'm likely to be eaten by a grue.
Thank goodness.
These are all perfectly fine omens. Perfectly fine omens. Oh, okay, we're going this way. This better not be like a maze that we replay later in the dark. That's like a Sierra game thing to do.
My lantern went out, for good this time. I had no choice but to venture forth into the darkness.
I mean, we sure that's true?
With each step, the passage narrowed in every conceivable way, until I was on hand and knee, crawling through thick clumps of vegetation. The odour of that dank soil was somehow unnatural. I crawled for an age, until I emerged in a cavern that seemed lit by the very earth itself.
I don't think I love that. If only we had our single match. Yeah, what about... Like, I really don't... Questions about that. Well, it's lit by the earth itself. What questions could you possibly have about this? This is very much like
this place?
Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. You go to like an underground place with like archways just like this. See, it would be funnier to me if she just like crouched down
it's
and then
solid as it looks.
And then the rock in the middle of that doorway just like slid away. It's just like a new magical trick she's learned. It's just like, you know, drop it low and then... We do seem to have an allergy to inventory items. I'll say, you know, I'll say this in defense of the current situation. It probably would have helped if we hadn't had that lantern lit for like a day and a half. Because like when it was in the inventory, it looked lit at all times, which was always pretty strange. I know. I'll open the door with music.
No, that won't achieve anything useful.
Says you. Clearly you've never been to Singapore. The only thing I can access right now? I know she won't let me go back, but I want to know what she says.
I must push forward.
Okay. Let me just, trowel my way through.
I could, but I don't have a year to chip through this door. Well, I could.
I mean, I'm not seeing like... Oh, hang on.
This stone panel seems somewhat loose.
Okay, so I'm going to put my 3 stones... I'm going to pry this off. There's going to be like indentations for the stones or something.
Curses. The panel is slightly loose, but it feels like the knife will snap in two if I push any harder. Perhaps I can chip away at the edge of the stonework here.
Yeah, it's a pull giant door, not a push giant door.
Well, the chisel broke, but what have we here?
What have we here? What have we here? What have we here? Yeah, it's 3 circular indentations.
3 niches have been carved into the stone.
I mean, they're ovals, but like, just chill. Just chill out. Did it slide over?
A click?
It broke the asterisk code. Hello? Game? What now? Why would it function in this way? Why is the way this is designed to work?
Incredible.
Oh. Hold on. Hold on. Well, the trick here is that IAW and PAW are... Oh, well... Hold on. Everyone hold, please. Okay, bring purple note over to this screen. I wanted to make note of their relative position because it feels like that might be relevant also. But, like, these just don't seem to be arranged in a way... I just meant to, like... Oh, I don't even have to move them. I just push them in a certain order? I was expecting that to be harder. Didn't the book say something about that? I could be mistaken. Let's take a look. Let's go take a look at the book. Let's do that.
The light.
Yeah, it's horrible. This is so Fate of Atlantis. Yeah, I found some purple. A renewable source of purple. I strongly suspect that this game has a Black Mirror ending the way this is going.
Curses. Goodness me. There's nothing Bronze Age about this.
That's your takeaway? That's it?
Roman?
From the Swollest door frame. Yeah, this is Abpaw. He's my door father. Oh, nice. Congrats on the insane difficulty achievement, Demolition. You have put a lot of hours in Dune. Feels like you deserve it.
Ancient Greek?
Just really hot for the harvest.
This is something.
Figure. It's, got the temple achievement. So day one, probably not relevant. Found the code was simply in the singularity of the characters. All eyes face towards the 7th art contact. None of that seems like we've reached it yet. This doesn't feel like it. Yeah, I don't think we've come to any of these yet. There's like a Greek letter puzzle, which might be the puzzle for this room because of the Greek thing. We have like Serpent Moon puzzle, which like there were some overtones to at the in the door letter screen, but I don't think it corresponds to the rest of the imagery or clues here. That language reveals the path. Okay. Do I have to arm wrestle it to advance? Let me get a pot. Oh, I got a pot. Let me get a pot.
A beautifully ornate pot. This is the only one with a lid.
Yeah, give me that lid.
It's sealed tight.
Didn't look like you were trying to open it. It kind of looked like you were trying to push it over.
There's something rattling round inside.
Yeah, if you just, like, removed the lid instead of pushing it, you might have a chance of, like, picking it up or whatever.
Some situations do call for brute force.
Not at all how I
Something
thought
here,
that was going to
made of
go.
wood.
Drop
It looks
low.
like a crank handle.
Is that the proper way to remove lids? Maybe that's why I struggle so much with peanut butter. Also, what did you call me? Crank handle? Very rude.
The soil feels as hard as rock, despite this damp environment.
This temple is great for the glutes. Thomasina Bateman and the Temple of Glutes. I feel like that's, if you were going to make a film of this, I wouldn't call it The Excavation of Hob's Barrow. I would definitely call it Thomasina and the Temple of Glutes, for sure. Would you not see that movie? I would see that movie, for sure. What's this thing? What's in this box? What's in the box? What are we doing? What's...
Try as I might, it will not open. There's a small hole in the front of the box. A lock, perhaps.
Let me try my room key from the hotel. That would be fun.
The key doesn't fit.
I mean, listen, I know that I told her to do that, but, like, her response is somehow wild to me. It seems like she was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And then she was, like, personally affronted that it didn't work. Like, why did you think it would work?
I can't wedge it open with the knife.
Yeah, right? She was very upset about that, to, like, a surprising degree. Oh, hang on.
It fits in the hole. Let's see if I can turn it.
Temple of Glutes, ladies and gentlemen.
My word.
Listen, you instructed me how to open lids, Cotillion. That's how you crank stuff. That's how you do it. What did that do for me, by the way?
The box is full of seeds?
Oh, it's open. It looked to me like it just, like, turned on light. I'm like, this is already a spooky lit chamber. How does more purple light help me? But I guess it's the glow of cursed seeds.
They glow in a most unnatural manner. Yet I feel compelled to take some.
I like the way she read that line. It was very upsetting, but, like, felt like she was being influenced by this place or something. No? Can't. That's what I clicked on. Clicked it before.
This one has shattered to pieces.
Yeah, big mood. Broken pottery.
These are all empty.
Just try to open all of the already open jars. I had worse ideas.
I can't see how that will help me. No.
It's so weird that that one works that way. And she said the soil's super hard, so I kind of think this won't work, even though it seems like it should be able to work. Oh, no, she made a point of it being hard, but it sounds like she's digging it. Temple of Glutes!
I've broken up the soil. It's loose now.
And just real quick put some upsetting seeds in there.
There we are.
Do I need to retrowel it? By the way, I got the crank back. Does that seem weird to anyone else?
The soil is already...
Okay, it's already prepared.
No movement there.
Honestly, even though I would have had to replay a bunch of stuff, it would have been really funny to me if I touched that arm and it just punched me in the head. Let's look at the mural. I think it's supposed to have clues.
Holding a whip. The figure is presenting what looks like a sheaf of wheat. No movement there. There is a nook hidden within the fist, as if to hold something.
A whip and wheat are the things that the Abpa stone were holding. That the abs in the Abpa were holding. And they're on the same sides the murals are. I don't know why it would be the fiddle. Could try it, though. Hey, I guess...
That's a peculiar idea.
I don't see why you're not trying it, though.
No, that's...
There goes the Barrow delving. Well, we're definitely getting our glute work in. Let me say that. We have water? I mean, there's, like, water on the wall. Is there a way to collect it? Guess that's maybe what the small pot is for. It seems like this arrangement is really difficult to actually accumulate water, but I think the game's gonna let me do it.
I've collected some water in the pot.
Feel like that shouldn't work exactly, but sure. Thanks, I hate it. I can't decide if I hate that more or just the same amount. Same.
Am I dreaming?
He's just got back from his brother's play. Took an hour to get there, and thanks to a storm, 2 hours to get back. Oh, spun out. Could barely see. Yikes. Glad you got back home, Haggis. It's been raining here again. I have not braved the outside. Yeah, we're in the Temple of Glutes. Everything we do causes us to drop it low and pick it up slow. And yeah, this is a source of elemental purple, which, as we know from other video games, is an analog for evil. We're growing some evil wheat to appease the Abdor. I presume you have no further questions. Drop it low.
The wheat is firmly rooted.
Yeah, I kind of figured, but I just figured get some extra get some glute work in.
I cannot begin to comprehend how this sprouted in a matter of seconds.
I blame the cakes.
It fits. These roots are strong and tight.
Can I, like, cut some of the roots to make a whip out of them?
I've removed a portion of the root. I'll keep it. The curious length of root is strong yet flexible.
Yeah, I think that's my whip.
I'm almost onto something there.
What do you not like about it? I have to...
I'm almost... No, that won't achieve anything useful.
Take another look at the mural.
The figure is holding a whip.
It looks too much like a human person. Idolatry, plain and simple. Get it, Haggis. I think the whip wants a stick? That doesn't feel obvious to me. Maybe that's why I got the crank back?
It's a little crude, but I believe I've fashioned a whip.
Maybe I'm telling on myself here. I don't think I've done enough whipping to know that to appease the Abdor, I need something that's basically a whip in and of itself, but also has a jack-in-the-box crank on it.
It fits.
You'll be so mad if I go through that door and it's the same room I just walked into. This game is like so heavily inspired by Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. Like, I just can't get over it. Like, every screen I look at is just like, uh-huh, that's what we're doing.
Whatever was once placed here is long gone.
I mean, the puzzles are completely different as far as I can remember, but, like, my goodness. It's like, yeah. Sarah just gonna back away knowing what was missing. Look, I told on myself, you know, you do you. It's very upset to be in this particular purple room. Save's probably a good idea. Save's probably a good idea. Yeah, this place is most likely... I don't know that this will have death traps. Like, there was a point in this game where I thought for sure stuff like that would be in the game. I believe that there will be, like, fail states and possible deaths, but I don't think that they will necessarily come completely out of nowhere. You need a girl version of every hero or not? Are you... Ice Bunny, can I ask for clarification of... Are you asking that because you feel like Thomasina is supposed to be like a Lady Indiana Jones? Or is this just a question, it's like, in general? I should touch this substance. It's definitely not Venom from Spider-Man.
A thick, greasy substance is oozing from the broken pot.
Okay, again, Howard, like, an hour before the stream... You would stop saying these really hurtful things. Appreciate it, okay, Cake Lady?
I haven't the faintest idea what it is. I don't wish to touch it.
But can I make you touch it? Oh, it's goat. Ooh, I don't like moon slot.
It looks like an object could be placed here.
Like a whole goat? Like some sort of whole entire goat?
I shan't go near it. What in God's name?
I mean, it's a goat. It's like an extra evil goat, but like, I don't think it's quite as surprising as that reaction lets on.
What in God's name? I shan't go near it.
I do like the use of shan't, though.
In any other circumstance, this beautiful vessel would be one of my greatest finds yet. Here, it seems meaningless.
What in goat's name?
Just an empty pot.
Can't go near it, stop asking. Half the fun of playing adventure games is finding a stupid line of dialogue and getting the character to say it over and over. I mean, I definitely think there's some inspiration from Indiana Jones. At the very least, from the Indiana Jones, like, point-and-click adventure game that I've referenced. Lara Croft was already a female version of Indiana Jones. I don't know if I quite agree with that. Like, I definitely see the comparison to make there, but, like, I feel like their personalities and motivations are different enough that I don't know that I would personally say that Lara Croft is a female Indiana Jones. They're just kind of similar, in my opinion. Actually, yeah, I think I agree with that. She's more a female version of Brendan Fraser from The Mummy. She does feel a little more like that. Just to say she's just Rachel Weisz. That maybe is true. Clint? Why would you drop it low there? Abpa. Again. Click outside the window. Why did it get weird?
Characters.
Abpa. Oh, wait a minute. This might be...
Perhaps Greek in origin?
Yeah, this might be journal-y. I wrote theta. Epsilon 9. And the code was simply in the singularity of the letters. Oh, okay. Planted seeds sprouted before our eyes and illuminated our path. That isn't quite how I'd characterize that, but that's the first room, and the nature's law has no meaning here feels like an extension of that. And then, yeah, this implies it's the next thing that they would have done. Have a concert this Friday. Tickets on sale now. I do think that's what it says in Greek, probably, yeah. So I think this feels like a separate puzzle, or at least separate to the letter block. Singularity of the characters. Oh, these aren't like buttons. I assumed they would be.
A remarkably accurate depiction for something that must be so ancient.
So here's a goat, right? And here's a naked man and like a goat person offering fish hooks to the goat. I can't tell if the goat is pleased or not.
Astonishing.
Someone just played Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis and was like, I could do that, but purple. And I'm like, not mad about it, but it's so clear.
Ancient device. I can't fit my fingers inside.
I don't think that's what I would recommend doing, to be honest.
I can't quite fit my finger in.
Okay, please stop fingering the holes. I know what I said. Oh.
A thin rod with tiny notches along the shaft.
All right.
The head is adorned with an Ouroboros.
A what now? I'm teasing. It's a very ominous find.
The rod doesn't seem to fit here.
Not a slot for it in the weird letter thing, right? I was simply... Jesse's were taking me extremely at face value despite saying I tease, but I was just saying that she said... Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm used to it being pronounced like Ouroboros, not Ouroboros. Can you put your whole arm in and try the dial puzzle that way? Some people are into that, Demolition. I think that's all I have to say about that. I care not to speculate whether Thomasina is among them, but I'll say that we've seen perhaps some evidence. I don't know. Maybe?
Goodness me.
This seems bad. Oh, the cat's here. I'm not sure the cat is friend.
Herbert?
Are you
It's
friend?
Herbert.
Are you friend, cat?
What
Are you
madness
friend?
is this?
Listen. It is upsetting that the cat is here, but there's something about how much more upset she is about the presence of, like, animals in this place than, like, the defiance of nature or the ominous imagery or the unnatural purple lighting. She's like, a cat? Sanity damage! Did we ever play the final game of the Council? You mean the melty-faced wax man on the like weird island where like we were working with our mother as some secret French organization of like finding occult stuff? Yeah, we finished it, but like I did something bad in the second chapter and it was like virtually impossible to get a good ending without like looking up a tutorial. So I kind of just let it ride. It's a good game. It's not like a great game, but I like that game a lot.
Something is hanging here.
Agreed.
A writhing mass of serpents carved from stone. On the reverse side is a thin, notched shaft. Perhaps a key of some nature. I don't know why, but I really don't want to put my hand in there. A hole has been driven into the side of the stone. A hole has been... That is well out of my reach.
Better talk.
Squeak, squeak.
That's a peculiar idea.
Herbert's pretty aggressive making his presence known.
Nothing of note
I was
here.
almost convinced that Scrawl came directly out of the game. I'm gonna leave the mewing room.
Empty. Incredible.
This feels like a bad room. Push the cat into the hole. That might be like a puzzle. I don't know. I don't think I like this room. It feels like a bad room.
I can't move it. There's an inscription on the base. Sauriel. I can't move it. There's an inscription on the base. Eloios.
Wait. This is a journal thing. Is one of these the archaic or whatever? So it's like, how would I know what direction they have to face? But like, there's something for this. You must face towards the Archontic. Well, which which one?
I can't move it. There's an inscription on the base. Thartharoeth.
That sounds like Daffy Duck trying to pronounce something wrong.
There's something in its mouth. A gold coin. There are no markings on heads nor tails.
What an insane place we're in.
I can't move it. There's an inscription on the base. Ioth. I can't move it. There's an inscription on the base. Thalthabowath.
Come on with these names. Gotta say, the gradual dripping from the ceiling adds to the atmosphere of the dank purple cave.
I can't move it. There's an inscription on the base. V-I-I Roman numerals.
So the middle one is the 7th, presumably. I don't know how I identify them as, like, an Archontic, but, like, that feels like that is what we're going for.
My God.
Yeah, that was a man's hand.
A severed hand is locked in a death grip on the handle. Who did this belong to? The fingers are icy cold.
I would assume.
I've managed to pry it off.
Frankly, I would be, like, way more concerned were that not true. Like, if the hand were still warm, I'd be, like, way extra upset.
Should I keep it?
Well, I got a severed hand. I'm not sure remember if Samuel suffered an injury.
The hand is dry and withered, like beef that has been left to age.
I don't feel like that description helps any. Okay. So presumably Is that the angle I want? It's a little hard to tell. Presumably at some point, this puzzle was solved. Who do you think came and reset it? I think that's right. I honestly can't tell what way this bottom one's facing.
This crank is jammed. It won't budge.
That's super rude. Okay, I have an idea. Don't reset puzzle, I swear to God. Let's lube it up with venom.
I've scooped some of the greasy substance into the pot. The greasy substance could act as a lubricant here. Voila.
Do you think that's my screenshot for the episode? Do you think? Yeah, I kind of thought the bottom one was already facing up. I feel like I just witnessed ye old Chuck E. Cheese animatronic
Something
display.
has emerged from within the bust.
You still doing phrasing? Yeah, exactly. It's a severed head jamboree. We're thinking the same thing. Drop it low.
A curious object. I'll keep it.
Gonna call that bust fragment? Yeah, I guess we could.
A thin piece of stone carved into the shape of what appears to be an eye.
Anything else I have to care about in here? It's like, no. No, I just wanted you to look at it, but I clicked the...
LOI.
It's weird that they give them all
The
names.
bust of an eagle. It's facing east. A bust of... It's facing...
So the direction they're facing is kind of toward the goat room.
What in God's name? I shan't go near it.
What if I bribe the goat? Hang on. Keep randomly saving. First, I'm gonna try bribing the goat. Your idea makes sense, but I want to bribe the goat.
No, that's not it.
You sure?
No, that won't achieve anything useful.
I think I brought my shotgun.
That's a peculiar idea.
If
There is something unnatural about this creature. I don't wish to take it on.
think I have anything that interacts with this yet.
It looks like an object could be placed here.
Really know what gives her that impression? I tried knife on Go. She's like, I'm not fighting that thing.
Whatever was once placed here is long gone.
Use coin on eye. I don't even know where eye goes yet, I don't think.
No, that was...
I kind of didn't think that was it. I mean, these look like round indentations, so I don't think this will do it. Coin?
I'm not sure what that would...
Maybe get me a gumball? I don't know, try it. I already
That's a
tried this. Herbert, I kind of need you to chill out. Herbert, do you need a hand? You know, I'm the one who did it. I didn't expect... I didn't think that's what was gonna happen. Thanks, I guess.
Ghastly.
Not sure if Cat is friend.
Another gold coin.
I mean, that's your takeaway from that exchange? Like, this Cat's like incessantly viewing, and I'm like, I don't know, I'll give it a whole human hand. And then we just like watch it, like, just gobble it down, and then like retch up a coin, and she's like, ooh, a coin! I'm just like, oh, God, jeez.
This one also has no markings.
Why is it...
What the fuck?
Why is it wet? No, I actually know why. I just don't like it. It seems appropriate. Thank you, Demolition. I feel like I should be able to do this room, and I don't... Like, I really expected this whole thing to be buttons. Oh, hang on.
I can't move it an inch. It's heavier than it looks. There is a thin slot set into the front of it, not unlike a piggy bank.
This, it's like an arcade machine.
The coin went in.
Oh, the things in the background are supposed to be coins. I'm supposed to give 2 coins to the goat.
I don't think anything happened.
They didn't look like coins to me. I didn't realize that's what I was doing here.
The coin went in.
The coin went in.
Something stirred within the plinth. I should take a closer look down there.
Now be careful. You could get wet down there. Well, that's not just me. That phrasing.
Wet down there.
That phrasing is questionable at best.
The characters are now protruding out from the plaque. Perhaps I can push them in some manner.
I did it. Oh, it's the moon fragment. In the name of the moon,
This
I'll
must
put
be
you in my
important.
pocket. Okay, hold on. Also got a rod.
A thin rod with tiny notches along the shaft. The head is adorned with a coiled serpent.
I'd love it if we solved that puzzle and she found like
I was talking about wieners.
I'd love it if she like she goes to all the trouble of like gathering those coins by doing like insane garbage and then like puts them in the thing and solves the puzzle and it opens up and there's like a fragment of like moon that's like clearly meant to solve another puzzle. And she's like, I don't think I need that. And just like walks away. Like, nah, I have a feeling that one's not important. Hang on, let me consult my copybook. Also, thank you, Devilish, for all the nonsense. There's a lot of talk about wieners here, for sure. So yeah, we did like everything on this page now. When the sun and the 2 moons meet, the guardian shall be defeated. So the guardian's gotta be the horrible goat, probably. Or, no. Wait. This is a reference to the other thing in this room, maybe. Maybe? Has it's got, like, wheels? What the snakes are about, though. So, like, due west and northeast. Okay, maybe I could do something with that.
The rod doesn't seem to fit here.
Let me just say something. Minor note. Like, a high percentage of the things we picked up here in the Underdark or whatever, they're all just sort of like a dark gray shape that appears in our black inventory box. Some additional care could have been taken to make these stand out a little more nicely. Okay, and then where do the arrows need to go? Hmm. 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 That's not what I thought that was gonna do. Okay. Midsection.
It moves a fraction, but appears to be locked in some manner.
Oh, hang on a second. Does this go in the middle one? Gross.
It fits. Something moved in another room.
Huh. So do the arrows... I'm gonna try and figure out this interface. Book doesn't make it entirely clear what the arrows need to do. Is this here before?
The statue is well out of reach.
The lighting in here feels different, but I might just be lying.
What in God's name?
Really hates that goat. It's not there. Okay, I feel better about that. Probably look closely at it first and then put the moon in it. Although, I continue to maintain this doesn't look like there's space to put something here. It kind of just looks like it's carved to me.
It fits. The fragment is in place.
I did it! What it is, I don't know, but I did
It looks like
it.
an object could be placed here.
Do I need more moon fragment? Actually, wait a minute. Does this go on the left? Oh, the size was not clear.
The fragment is in place.
I don't think I would have got that if I didn't, like, click on outer shape. This particular, like, this isn't a huge deal. I feel like this whole thing could be clearer. I need a third one. So, then I guess the takeaway is that, like, messing with the snake wheel moves the snake room? Try and do this relatively methodically. Why did it click? Because I have a thing in that position? What does that mean? Huh?
Remarkable.
That's pretty cool. Huh. Just outside the box. So then in that case, solution is maybe much easier than I think. Although I think there's an additional part to this. Click? Yeah. And now there should be a second statue in the upper right firing into the other thing, probably. We didn't see what the piggy bank did. The piggy bank activated the button puzzle that let us get the second thin rod and the moon shard.
What in God's name?
I like that they reused that, like, very, like,
Yeah, let's get
conspicuous,
groping.
an extremely conspicuous quote. Like, I definitely recognize that from looking at the goat. It's the exact same clip. What in God's name? And then the lasers kill us?
What's this?
It's another moon-shaped, yeah.
It must be important.
Oh, sorry. I clicked through it because I thought we were just looking at it. But, I mean, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be, and then we put it on the slot, and then spook the goat or something.
The statue bears no moving parts or secrets, it would seem.
I touched the
statue
laser.
is well.
Doesn't look well out of reach. I don't think the goat's gonna like this. You just stick your hand in random holes. How do you expect to solve adventure games if you won't stick your hand in random holes?
It fits.
Giraffe.
Giraffe. Haggis gets it.
Yeah, let's get groping.
Yeah, let's get
It's
groping.
gone.
Got an achievement called The Goat Below. Now it triggers. It triggered twice. Did you activate it twice, Demolition? Oh, cool, page. Oh, is that a music
have we
puzzle on
here?
the door? What have we here? What have we here? What have we here?
This is my father's handwriting. A page torn from his journal.
It just says like, ah, deep breath. Ah. Samuel's hand was ripped clean off by an unseen force. There was so much blood, it remains to be seen if Saxnot was the perpetrator
I'm making him horny.
of this shocking act. He's a sturdy lad and he'll live, but he is shaken. I am shaken. Mr. Shoulder, however, seems very keen to push on. The man is positively chipper. Okay. Yeah, perhaps he died writing it. You understand, Cotillion. He's right, though. We do have a job to do, and by Jove, we will get it done.
Saxnot.
Lid.
It's very heavy. Karja? Sarja? I have no idea what it means.
Kessler definitely gets that joke for sure.
Empty. Empty.
Me gustan las tetas grandes.
Oh, this guy's not a friend. So this is like what Saxnot actually looks like? Question mark? Sacha means... Me gustan las tetas grandes.
Try as I might, I cannot pry it open.
I feel like there's some way to incorporate that Indiana Jones joke of like in the original Latin, Me gustan las tetas grandes starts with a J or something.
Try as I might, I cannot pry it open.
You start with I. Stab the
If I
statue.
can just wedge the knife under here. Got it.
Wow. I mean, I don't know why I wanted that, but if I did want it, I guess that's the way I would have gotten it. Again, it was kind of goofing. Drop it low. I mean, do I just want the other one? Oh, it's a keyhole.
Perhaps I can find a key for this.
Now bear with me. What if the key to my hotel room was the key to this statue. I don't know why that would work, but like it would be funny if it did.
You can almost wedge the knife under the eye, but it's not moving.
Okay, I don't know why I should have thought to do that, other than the fact that I could.
It looks like something...
This feels like this is a door, but it's not. You know, I'm impressed that she even just tried,
That's not
you know?
moving an inch. That is well out of my reach.
What am I doing here?
A small round niche has been carved into the side of this slab.
Do I put the eye in it? Do I put the eye in team? Eye that I plucked out of a satyr statue?
Remarkable.
That's one way to put it. Oh, it's just new holes.
There's a key. I'll take it.
Okay, not what I thought was gonna happen again.
A keyhole.
I feel like I need to look at the journal again. Am I supposed to understand what I'm doing right now? That language reveals the path. I think that's distinct from the Greek clue. Moon, stars, listen, mouth. Could be part of this since the statue has mouth. Well, I have a key and I have 2 keyholes.
The key doesn't seem to fit.
Thought it was recessed. Well, the bell didn't ring. I understand the confusion.
It fits.
Did I try my root
Sounds like a
key in the
mechanism
recess hole?
creeps
No, I
somewhere
didn't, in
far
fairness.
above me.
Above me? She's so high above me. She's so lovely. It's a good point. Cotillion. I should definitely try my hotel key. It has to do something in the game, right? I maintain it's gonna do something. So now am I
I need
supposed
to find a way
back?
forward.
Wait. Okay. Really?
That is well out of my...
Really? Can't go anywhere else, even though I triggered something.
The soil has hardened into a thick casing.
Dig. Put your cakes into it.
A goat has been buried here.
Rip. Rip goat.
How gruesome. A horn has broken away from the skull. I'll take it.
That can go on the statue. Like, I was just asking if I could put something on the statue. I don't think I had anything really applicable until I had excavated that goat.
Yikes forever.
Yeah, Yikes Forever applies to basically everything down here.
The horn fits perfectly, as if by design.
Seems really unlikely, and yet probably true. There's gotta be some reference for this. I mean, like, I could brute force this for sure. But, like...
It's very...
Can't do anything else with the goat.
Oh no, I'm making him horny.
That's true, we did make him horny. For sure. Just no denying that. You definitely
Two
nailed that
fearsome
one.
serpents have been painted onto what appears to be a shield. I can make out chains hanging from above, holding it in place.
Rotate in opposite directions? No, but for some reason it struck me that... Alright, brute force worked. I don't totally know what it was going for, but I got there somehow. I don't know if I was just supposed to make it... Like, I don't know that... I don't know. I just fiddled with the horns. Don't worry about it.
The key fits. Sounds like a mechanism creaked somewhere far above me.
Okay, that's the second time that's happened. There's like bad evil noises coming from that.
Horrific racket.
Oh, it's like, it's bad cats. You twirled the horns. I haven't seen you do so much as Sebastian the Crab with the fiddle. That's how that works, right? That's how that works. You got it right. It's the whole of the Silent Hill. That's also completely correct, Haggis. Don't people hate that game? I feel like that game's actually really interesting, as someone who hasn't played it and only watched someone do a Let's Play of it. That seems like really horrible. Also, I still don't understand like what's going on.
It is well out. That dreadful sound seems to be coming from behind the opening. I can almost make out a pattern, a tune of sorts.
No, it is a music puzzle. I mean, let me just make sure, but I can't leave, right?
Find a way
Can she decipher that with the cursed fiddle? Oh, fart no. Absolutely no. Absolutely not. How dare you? How dare you? No idea. Okay. Yeah, listen, it shows the strings under the hole. You don't appreciate how incompetent I am at understanding music. This is not a good place. You can't hug every cat. It's not a friend cat. You do not have enough hands. Oh, good. A cat? It's a cat bat.
All just.
What? What is it just?
Hogwash.
Oh, okay.
Is this all in my head?
We've reached an O. Yeah, you know, the 7 stages of solving the mystery of your father's magical incapacitation. What do you like as the image? Just her hogwash with her eyes closed? Or am I going mad looking at the previously cat-filled path? Shan't do it. Moon Eye Sun.
The plaque is inscribed with Latin text.
Ah, the dead language leads the way. It's like the top of the last
My
page?
father understood the language well. I'm afraid I don't. It says...
Kia tu es Luna. I mean, certainly moon, right? Dux ad Astra. Star? Question mark? Et audi omnia quae ego locutus of Borg sum sequitur verba oris me ostende mihi. Just to be clear, I don't know Latin at all, other than, you know, whatever picked up from random science terms and whatever. Anything else to consult before trying to randomly go in things? Summon the Imperium. The glory of the Emperor or whatever. I mean, book has it? Oh, that's like the translation of the... maybe? Yeah, that's gotta be it. For thou art the moon, chief of the stars. Listen to the things I have said. Follow the words of my mouth. That one's always funny to me. Reveal thyself to me. So, it's probably just like a Lost Woods situation? Follow the words of Smash Mouth! It's our entire childhood, aka the backyard. Is he gonna sing now?
With popish tricks and relics rare,
Yeah, I remember stuff.
the priests their flocks do gull. In casting out the earth take care.
I will say I didn't remember her little dance in the foreground. I was focused on something else. That's pretty good.
Huzzah! I've found a skull.
Yeah, that's how I remember the last one going. Well, he wasn't wrong. He found a skull. The real skull was inside us all along.
This is my father's handwriting.
My initial suspicions are proving to be true. We are not dealing with a mere folk goblin conjured in the minds of farmers on which to blame their failures. Saxnot may dwell here, but he is not alone. Think back to all I have studied, all I have learned. Everything points to the possibility of a much more malign influence. Something long forgotten stirs within this bleak place. Something dark, something monstrous longs for attention. I have prepared the tablet. The iPad will end this.
I don't understand. What is this tablet he keeps referring to?
Maybe it's just like a horse pill. I guess it's a whole own inventory slot, huh? Kinda wish I could bookmark the journal, but like, that's fine. So yeah, Stars was next, I was pretty sure, then Listen Mouth? For some reason I thought there were 5. Moonstar's Listen Mouth? Okay, that's fine. Real close look at the eyes. Oh good, it's my entire childhood again.
3,
So like
2,
basically every flashback we've had, but like...
You can open your eyes now, Thomasina. Come. Are you ready for your first excavation?
I like that he's just addressing adult us directly.
Father!
Capital. Make sure you remember everything I've taught you. I have a feeling you might find something special.
Can you hear me, Father? Is it really you?
I'll be watching from the steps, my little bird. Good luck.
I hope we find his skull again. I hope we just keep finding his skull. Oh, hang on. Let me get
I
the...
remember this.
I was assuming I just had my trowel, but I assume that's not true. Now I'm actually thinking about it.
Nothing.
So does that mean it's always in the last place you look? Because that was true last time. I just, like, dug my way towards where he was standing. Figured it would be in the same place. Maybe it's gonna be like Herbert, and Herbert's gonna eat our hand?
Nothing. Oh, the wretched smell. What is the meaning of this?
Yaks forever.
Father?
Did you not like your prize?
Yaks forever.
No, you squat low and then open the door with your force, with the cake force.
Yaks forever.
Gonna make a save that I will save over if I feel impending death. Listen to the mouth!
Mother?
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Thomasina, is that you?
Yaks forever.
Father, it is. It's me.
My dear, sweet little bird.
My brain, for some reason, read that as wet little bird. And I was like, that's just an insanely weird thing to call your daughter.
So very dreadfully hot. Please remove these covers. They suffocate me so.
Please, call a doctor. My pythons are sick.
Get wet. Down there.
It's just, I mean, yeah, someone observed earlier that, like, everything we've done since we came down here is lewd, but, like, the whole game has kind of been like that, and I've genuinely been unclear as to, like, whether any of it is intentional, but it's, like, a lot.
Father, you can talk again.
And I've got so much to ask you, so much to tell you. But please, first, the covers.
He's definitely just a bunch of angry cats, right? Or, like, a demon goat. Yeah, close enough. This is how the nervous system works, you see? Is something the matter, my wet little bird?
Father, your body.
Oh, my dear, clever girl.
Oh, that's true. She has been able to open doors this whole time.
You're so close
Big
now.
titty.
How good it is to finally speak with you again.
But...
Don't worry.
So, his body is in the real world, but his mind is here. That's probably what's happening.
It will all be fine soon.
Yeah. You're not yourself today. Have a Snickers, Dad. Have those been invented yet? I don't know.
You're close to the end, little bird.
He's Chopin. Basically. Mouth. Good autosave. Oh, it's called the Final Descent. Maybe we're even closer than I thought we were. I mean, we did basically finish the journal. Not quite. That was like the top part of the last page, so there's at least like one more thing to do. Did we finish this tonight? No. I didn't think we'd get... I thought there'd be like a day of faffing around like after we opened the Barrow, but like that did not happen. It's a bit wet down there. I think that's fair to say. There's probably some goopiness. What are we doing? Oh, hang on. Arkham Asylum? What does it say up there? I don't have this flower. Hang on, before I go in there. Also, like, danger save. Also, like, danger save. So now we've used violin. We haven't used room key, I think, for anything ever. We have the weird flower. We have Leonard Shoulder's note, which doesn't seem super helpful. And we have the journal page. Missing anything? Tablet.
My God.
Alcatraz. You know, when you put it like that, it makes a lot of sense. Well, maybe not a lot of sense. Where did the three of them get those stones
Father,
to begin with, though?
This ends now.
Apparently we're very close to the end. The walkthrough has no more pages. Yeah, that's... okay. That's good to know, I guess. There's gotta be, like, something to do here, though.
There's something here, in the soil. A tablet, made of lead.
Well, that seems important. All right, we are doing this. Agreed,
There's an
Sarah.
inscription scratched into it. Aliges daemonium incantamentum. With mine blood shall thou be bound to the earth.
But the blood seems like a bad thing to do.
And only with mine blood shall thou be freed.
Yeah, agreed, Haggis. Like, don't read this thing out loud. Inside voice.
Is this what Saxnot was referring to? My father wrote this?
Hey, can I just say that...
I know what I need to do.
If our father's mind was, like, truly trapped in that vision, in the caves that we just walked through, if that was really him and not just a hallucination, wouldn't it have been a good time for him to mention, like, what we should do or not do? Black Mirror? Black Mirror? Black Mirror. He could have been a Saxnot vision. I mean, that's why I prefaced that with all the if thing, but like... just kind of seems arbitrary at that point. Yeah, we don't get a choice. That's more or less what... I know I haven't played Black Mirror on the channel. When I say we get a Black Mirror ending, I mean, like, something bad happens and we don't get a choice. What is that face? What's the face? What face is that?
I can still scarcely believe what I saw looming over me in that Stygian chamber.
This feels like the epilogue to The Howling Man, which is a Twilight Zone episode. That's the... This is exactly what I expected face. Ah, yes. Of course.
How does one even attempt to describe the indescribable? The vision
the
before me
hogwash face.
defied all logical explanation.
I feel like Hogwash would be a really funny reaction to that. She just, like, literally sees Cthulhu. Instead of taking sanity damage, she's like, Hogwash, and then he disappears like so many, like, feral cats.
All my efforts to do so have fallen on deaf ears, merely providing a chance to be mocked, pitied, and dismissed as mentally unsound. I dare not commit that unfathomable glimpse to paper, but it was real, Mother. He is real. Not an imaginary terror, but a demon. A god brought to life.
The bright side, presumably her dad's okay, right?
Striving to somehow make my way out of that accursed Barrow alive. Inspirited by the hope that my squalid deed had freed father from his plight. Speechless voices whispered to me in unknown tongues that grew louder with every step. Suddenly, there was light.
Oh, is this just what the outside is like now? That seems bad.
I saw him too. That night I saved your father. Ever since then, I've felt his corruption growing within me. It grew stronger and stronger as he raged against the incantation that bound him beneath the soil. I fought him with all my might, tried hard to bury him in the corners of my mind.
It's somewhat effective!
Oh, Thomasina, how I tried.
It's true, it is somewhat effective. I mean, whether it achieved the desired result, eh.
But I could deny him no longer. I became naught but an instrument. His voice became my own. I deceived you. I'm sorry. I am his now. Soon we'll all be his.
Yeah, I know you haven't caught a lot of this game. Now is just, it's commonly used in this game, and I'm not sure I could entirely describe it to you. It's British Moors for not, but like in a complicated fashion.
Hail Abrexus Rex.
Isn't that the dinosaur from Jurassic World? Oh, well, bye. It was nice knowing you.
Well, I say, she's done it, Leonard.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Your lordship, I believe she has. My dear Miss Bateman, there is a God about whom you know nothing, because men have forgotten him. Recall him by his name, Abraxas.
Welcome back, Master.
We call him by his name. Hubert? I think it's Hubert.
Come, Leonard. We must await him at the chapel.
Aye. Only there shall he be complete.
Is there more? Did we die? Are we possessed? I'm a little unclear. One thing I could tell you... Well, I could tell you two things for certain. One, we never used that key. And two, we never got painted, and I'm upset about it. Oh, good. The 7th day. We slept in real good. Vindicta!
Ah, Miss Bateman.
Oh, we're at the start of the game again.
Welcome back to Ticehurst House. It's been quite some time.
Huh? That's true. We did write a very long, like, 4-day letter.
Terrible weather this evening, is it not? Nurse Blaketon has had enough of me smoking inside. Makes her cough, you see.
But this is literally the start of the game. This is his exact dialogue.
A bit of rain won't kill me, will it?
No, this is not a talking scene.
You mustn't be
It wasn't
interested in
before.
me nattering on. Give my regards to your father. Nurse Blaketon is preparing his supper.
So, I'm guessing that we've been possessed, and we came to, like, torment our father for sealing him away. Is basically...
Do head inside.
Is basically Nahiri reacting to being trapped in the Hell Vault on Innistrad, which is a reference literally none of you will get.
You'll catch your death out here.
I don't think we got the Untalking Curse. I think we're possessed by the evil spirit and we're trying not to let on. I think. Because we got blasted by that laser but not disintegrated. That's my guess. Some very deliberate footsteps. Yeah. Why would you just stand there? Hey, lady? Hey! Are you okay? Like, maybe you're in shock, but I feel like you should have some self-preservation instincts to not just stand there. You gone. You're done. Is it purple in here, or, yeah, the perfect spot, right? We gonna smash that? I got her to walk backwards. I don't know what I'm gonna suffocate him with an urn? Oh no. Kind of surprised we didn't go for the exploding route on that one. Yeah, I don't know why I used the pot now. That seems weird to me, too. Wow. We really got a lot of work done in like 4 days, huh? Kill him with what he loved. But, like, that's almost, like, the reason why it doesn't make sense to me. Is, like, my presumption is that Thomasina is now a vessel for, like, the evil being. And as a result, I feel like his motivation is to, like, torture and, like, make the father suffer. Just, like, beating him with a blunt object, even if it's, like, poetic justice, it just feels, like, lackluster to me.
Welcome.
My heart is his heart, your lordship.
And my light is his light.
Yes,
With
yes.
a full house for today's sermon, you'd best take your seat.
My heart is his heart, your lordship.
And my light is his light, Mr. Long.
You have made an Eden here, your lordship. We are ever so thankful to you.
I assure you, Mr. Long, this is only the beginning.
I think he's doing that to make sure his blood can never seal him again. I mean, that feels like a real long shot. And, like, I'm not saying I wouldn't expect the evil being to kill him, but, like, my expectation is that he would do it as painfully as possible. And just, like, beating him with a blunt object just feels like really front door for an entity that can, like, explode people with his mind or whatever.
Please, join the others inside.
My heart is his heart.
Yes,
and
yes.
My light is his light, dear Leonard. How are you feeling?
Fit as a fiddle.
You get it? Because the fiddle would solve that puzzle, and also because I was complaining about my maladies? Zagala, we are in the epilogue of this game. So, that's, I mean, you won't miss any puzzles. There may be spoilers. We are, like, moments away from this game being over, probably. Presumably. But hi, Zacula. Hope you're doing well. Is purple in there? Is that it? We good? Several years later. Yeah, you should dip. But it's nice seeing you, Zacula. I hope you're doing well.
And now I sit in this dismal room, day after day, year after year, imprisoned and committed with seemingly little hope of redemption. You have chosen not to visit me, and I understand that, I do.
I mean, from her perspective, the Jedi are evil, by which I mean you killed your dad. So, like, yeah.
Indeed, I've had but one visitor, Arthur Tillett. He comes to see me once or twice a year. A loyal and decent man who tried in vain to warn me of the wicked plot concocted by Lord Panswick and Mr. Shoulder.
Now, to be clear, whose fault is that?
Thankfully, Midland Railway accepted his transfer request. He and his wife were able to leave that damnable village several weeks after my excavation. It feels like an age has passed since that fateful night at Ticehurst House, but finally, you have my full account. I thought I knew my father. As I look back on my childhood memories, I can only conclude that it was his wish to protect me from the true nature of his endeavors.
I mean, that seems probable in hindsight, I agree. But it seems peculiar for him to try and foster that excitement. I mean, I guess the idea is that, like, he wanted her to be excited about the sort of, like, ostensible, like, archaeology angle of it, so that he could eventually ease her into being, like, some sort of occult hunter, whatever it is his true purpose had been.
But why didn't you tell me the truth? Especially after what happened to him at Hobbs Barrow.
I mean, did she know? If he's keeping it secret from the daughter, we don't know for sure that the mom would know. He just kept bringing back pots and stuff.
Why did you allow me to grow up idolizing a man who didn't exist? I did not kill father. It was he that guided my hand. I was enthralled to that most malevolent force.
Good point, Sarah. She did burn the books. That does suggest she probably knew something that, like, he had knowledge that was dangerous, and that suggests that she knew there was more going on.
Abraxas, I beg you to understand. He has had his revenge, but I know he will return.
In the sequel.
Where is he now? What more is he capable of?
Certainly blowing people up with his mind.
I only wanted to save my father. Oh, Mother, what have I done?
I mean, you killed your dad.
Forgive me.
Perfect. So I get the impression there's probably not multiple endings to this game. It's like you don't really get a choice at the end. Those nuns... I did not kill my father. Those nuns, though, all me. I mean, I just borrowed some of the power of the evil entity in order to just, like, smush the nuns, because, like, screw them, you know? This game's pretty good. Like, honestly, so I don't know how much I should spoil about Black Mirror. Black Mirror is, like, an adventure game that I think came out in, like, the late 90s or maybe early 2000s, or at least that's when I was able to buy it in a store. Like, Software Etc. or something. And it had this, like, spooky horror, like, gothic feel to it. I think it's actually also set in England, because there's, like, a family lineage and castles and things as part of the story. And, like, the story's not, like, extremely overtly similar, but, like, there's definitely a path of, like, learning about, like, dark things that happened in the past. And in the end, the main character, like, makes a decision, like, a very strong decision, and you get no say in it. And, like, it had been a game I liked a pretty good amount, and the ending I just, like, really hated. And despite the fact that this game does something kind of similar, I, like, don't hate it here. I mean, in a way, I kind of like that the character has agency that I don't have to make that bad choice. Like, it seems really obvious to me not to make that choice for, like, various reasons. But, like, the game very overtly establishes that at a certain point, once she believes it is possible to help the father, that she will stop at nothing to do it. And, like, I think there's maybe some subtle commentary on the notion that, like, if you're willing to do something at all costs, you should be very well certain that that is the right thing to do. And she does not take the appreciable step to do that. And that's her downfall, is she's so single-minded in the thing that she wants that she doesn't stop to consider whether she should do it. And, like, I'm okay with that in the context, because really the whole game is sort of her going against what she probably should do. And earlier I sort of complained that it didn't make much sense for, like, Leonard to invite her there and then, like, totally ghost her and all that. But, like, I think I get it now. Like, I think the idea is that, like, by making her work for every step of the process, it makes sure that she's committed to it before anyone actually interacts with her. So, like, because they needed her to consent to do the thing to break the ritual, like, they needed to make sure that she was committed enough that, like, they didn't accidentally sway her or whatever. So, like, yeah, that works for me. It seems weird, but again, I feel like the story sets it up. What was the girl even about? I'm not sure. I mean, like, maybe the implication is simply that, like, there's some weirdness to the fact that, like, the hobgoblin exists, but isn't evil, but is, like, controlled by the evil force. Like, I feel like I understand all of that, and the fact that he lied, like, all of that tracks. But, like, it establishes that there is something other than just the big evil entity that, like, has a supernatural quality to it in this world, which then in turn suggests that maybe, like, the girl is just, like, a fey creature, but maybe in some way she's also being influenced the way the hobgoblin was, which is why she sort of, like, lured us in to get the fiddle that we would need to solve that puzzle. It's kind of a weird amount of, like, supernatural elements to have in it, but, like, I think I'm willing to accept that as being true. Yeah, I like this. This is a really good game. I like this game. One thing that I really like is the entire experience in that, like, final dungeon. Like, it's really easy in a game like this to, like, overdo it on those puzzles at the end because you want it to seem like they've built to a higher level of difficulty. And so, like, a lot of games will, like, you'll just encounter some, like, really hardcore nonsense at the end and it'll be kind of frustrating, but, like, even the stuff that, like, was a little out there that wasn't, like, totally clear, like, was intuitive enough that for the most part I either, like, tried it instinctively or, like, someone in chat suggested it and it seemed reasonable. Like, I mean, a lot of the really weird stuff, like just messing with the statue or, like, giving the cat a hand, like, that ended up being right, and it's just, like, a thing that felt like I should do it. But then, like, the actual puzzles themselves, like the rotating discs with the snake lasers, like once I had all the pieces, it was, like, extremely clear to me what to do with that, even though, like, at first glance, like, it seemed like nonsense. That's a great puzzle. I love a puzzle like that. I mean, that's kind of like what Miso Fa was. And, you know, that obviously is a adventure game puzzle I historically liked a great deal. So we're back to main menu, I presume? I don't think we're gonna get a post-credits thing. We ran out of music, like, minutes ago. Spinning cat head. I have context for this now. New Game Plus unlocked. I don't even know what that... I don't know what that do. I mean, it should just be main menu. I'm just a little curious if, like, anything changed or whatever. Right, it's super lag because it defaulted. Let's do this. Get a new gun and sunglasses. Yeah, deal with it. Neko says there were purple flowers growing all over the moors, and at one point they said something about the moors swaying those who live near them. So I assume further out in the moors you are, the more you're influenced by him. Shoulder lived there. I'm not like, it's an interesting theory. I don't know that I necessarily think the flowers are as integral to that. Like, I get the impression that, like, I mean, Panswick and Shoulder are both implied to live further out into the moors than other folks. But, like, the flowers didn't seem to be near either of their homes. I feel like, yeah, it's a logic game. Like, honestly, the thing that sort of inspired me to try it is, like, I've been seeing, like, the Watch It folks, like, tweet aggressively about this because of some, like, award show that happened recently, or some, like, some video game award ceremony that I'm not intimately familiar with. But I think it got best story from that, ultimately. And, like, I can see that. It's a good story. And it's, like, different. And, I mean, the early stuff in the game, while it's, like, a little frustrating in how slowly paced it is, like, I feel like it does really add something to the game, both that helps to tell the story and to make it feel different. Yeah, I don't know. Like, despite some early misgivings, like, really pretty much start to finish, I like that game. Like, there's something interesting to maybe think through later about how the locals really didn't like Thomasina early on, and then, like, ultimately everyone, like, succumbs to the Chapel of Doom. And, like, you know, I imagine once the bad guy is resurrected, he has the ability to influence them more directly. So, like, I don't have any trouble believing that or anything, but, like, it's just interesting that, like, maybe even on, like, a subconscious level, they're like, no, like, don't mess with things. Like, there's something dangerous and it will change our lives. And then once it's clear that, like, they can't stop it from happening, they're like, I, for one, welcome our demonic overlord. You do spy a handsome fox. A fox that you sent here yourself. But yeah, I don't know. I do feel like there's probably, like, extra layers to, like, some of the stuff in the... Like, it feels like a game that's really well thought out. Like, even some other games I've enjoyed don't necessarily feel like they have that element, and I feel like this does, where, like, if you think through and consider, like, all of the elements, you're like, oh, yeah, like, that explains this other thing, and, like, everything kind of ties together nicely. And, you know, like, there's this sort of cheaty time warping element of you see the seventh day early in the game, and you want to write it off as part of the backstory, but in reality, like... It's almost to hint at a sense of hopelessness that, like, the ending is already written and you can't change it because, like, the second Thomasina agreed to go to this town, by her nature and by the nature of what was going on there, she was, like, doomed to her fate. But yeah, I like this game a lot. This is a really good adventure game. I'm excited that we've managed to play a few, like, recent release adventure games in the recent past that, like, are really good. Like, Lamplight City was great. This is also great. It's interesting that both of them felt like they had a little bit of a rough start. And then, like, both of them eventually came around to being, like an A+ title. Like, I really like both those games a lot. But, yeah. I'll have to figure out what to do tomorrow. It'll probably just be Murder by Numbers under the circumstances. But I obviously have to figure out what to play next week as well. Or maybe, I don't know. We'll talk about it. Yeah, before we wrap up the stream, I have hidden a secret Squirtle, of course. Somewhere on the couch behind me. I've hidden a secret Squirtle. If you can find the Squirtle, it will be an omen of good luck for you in the week to come, and definitely not a sign of the end times and the possession by the purple element of evil. Yes, take a moment to consider where there might be a Squirtle. I didn't put a visible Squirtle out there, so I don't have to give you the other caveat that if you can see a Squirtle, it's not a secret. Nightblade City had the ghost, though. Yeah, I mean, that was a big part of the rough start, is that there's like a lot of focus on Bill early on, and the game wants you to care about Bill. But I kind of love that, I don't remember his name now, but the main character, like, kind of actually hates Bill. Like, they were close friends in real life, but then, like, when he died, just like, no, I hate this, I hate you. Let's see, behind the octopus, behind the fox's shield. Ooh, what a cheeky, very specific guess I like. We never got to get rid of Bill. That's objectively false. The end of the game, we got rid of Bill. Spoiler alert, we got rid of Bill. That's how the game ends. All right, let's gather these guesses. So Squirtle under Donut Dragon, Flying Squirrel, Carlos. Now, Haggis, when you say octopus, you mean Squidbeard? This guy. I'm guessing Squidbeard for the reason that it would be hard to hide something behind him sitting on top of the couch, but I just want to ask. Did we? Yeah. All right, let's go take a look, shall we? So, Neko's guess of our donut dragon friend was the first one I noticed. This is Celestina. She's enjoying a good donut that I wish I had right now. Neko, I don't think you're going to be pleased because hiding back there is the Banana Man, who I know that you are the sworn nemesis of. Sorry to say. I guess right here. I don't have anything hiding back here because I was having difficulty propping up Shanty, who I wanted to be visible on the stream. So unfortunately, no Squirtle there either. Yes, behind our cute little fox's shield. And there wasn't anything hidden back there, but I like that idea very much. He was, however, hiding Dr. Cinderagon, our professional lady dragon, who is also a doctor. I do love this handsome fox, though. Look at this guy. He's so cute. Very friendly. I really hate that dripping sound. Really hope you can't hear that, or that would be very annoying. Yes. Behind the newest friend, appeared at the grocery store last week, this Easter Bunny flying rodent friend. He was hiding Hans, right? Hans the Porcupirate. I haven't looked at his tag in a while. Porcupirate is a very good title, and he's a very good friend. But unfortunately, he's also not a Squirtle. There's one more guess. Sarah had guessed that Secret Squirtle was behind the one and only Clawsome Carlos, and you betcha. A set, you bet. Congratulations, and happy early birthday to Sarah, who managed to correctly locate the Secret Squirtle. Birthday winner feels very appropriate. I couldn't have planned that because I wouldn't know where you would guess it, but I'm glad that you managed to find the Squirtle, and I do hope you have a lovely birthday, Sarah. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed what turned out to be the final install. I thought for sure there would be at least 2 more. I thought we were going to, like, break into the tomb, but there would be, like, more puzzles to actually, like, get to, like, you know, the super ominous parts. Like, we'd, like, dig down into the earth and there'd be, like, more things to solve. But, like, Wadjet, upset, A set. Very good, Sarah. But yeah, this has been great. I hope you enjoyed this game. I'll consider what to do next. A couple people pinged me today saying that like there's a Humble Bundle that has the latest Siberia game in it, and I'm like, is that a sign that I should like make the Siberia games work? I don't know. I'll sort it out. But thanks for being here. Thanks for being you, and I hope to see you again soon. Signing off for the finale of the Excavation of Hob's Barrow is me, VascoDaGamer. Hope to see you soon, and until I do, stay safe and remember that you are clawsome.